right. Let's just start the show. I gotta answer Dean's question. La la la. I love that song. I love such a banger. What's up, YouTube? This is Dreaded Conservative Show. We're popping in the red. Okay. YouTube, it's Monday night. Kicking the week off right. Dreaded Conservative Show. We got a show today. WEF, World Economic Forum. I shouldn't say that. Well, we got the buffer. We did the buffer, so I can say it. WEF happened this week. Davos 2024. We'll look at things you need to know about Davos 2024. We're going to be schwabbing it up today. We got all the World Economic Forum stuff, and then we got a big tech section. Lots of new techs, updates on the space lasers that are going to wipe out the planet. The solar space arrays are coming online. Skynet is online. Skynet's already online. It's in China. No, but we got space lasers. Freaking solar-powered space lasers. Going to be lighting the world up. They act like it's new and it just started, but really, they've been working on it for a long time, and we've seen the results of the tests in California and possibly in Hawaii as well. We'll talk about cool tech stuff. We got a tech section, futuristic tech, which is actually not futuristic at all, because if they're telling us about it, they're actually like 50 years ahead of that. So tech stuff, lasers, going to wipe out the planet. And then we got Ron dropping now, election updates. What's going on with the election? Where we at? It's Nikki Haley versus Trump. It's Nimrata Haley versus Trump. So that's the show. And then some rapid fire news, some memes, some reels and stuff. And then the end of the show, we're going through our philosophy arguments for God, our philosophical arguments for God. We're going through all those. I gave you a cosmological argument, which is for your atheist friends who are into space and the beginning of the universe. You can give them a good Kalam cosmological argument. I gave you a emotion-based argument, which is the moral argument, because it just feels like somebody has to determine right and wrong for us, because as humans, we obviously can't do it. We think morals are subjective. So we got the moral argument is your emotional argument. This week, we're going with a logical argument. No sorts of knowledge needs to be had, even though this is the ontological argument for God. There's multiple ones. We'll talk about Anselm's argument, Descartes' argument, the modal argument, all the different ontological arguments. But ontology is the study of being, and basically this is supposed to be the most logical argument. It's not the best argument, but if you got a big-brained atheist logic friend, this might work on them. We got some other good ones coming up. We got a historical argument. Next week, we'll do the argument from the resurrection of Christ. That's a historical argument for God. And then the last one is a math argument for God. So we're going to have, by the end of this, you'll have all the weapons in your tool belt to defend your belief in God with any dumb atheist. You'll be able to give them a cosmological argument, an emotional argument, a logical argument, a historical argument, and a big brain math argument. So by the end of this, you'll know all those things. But today we're doing the most confusing one, the most boring one. And it's actually, there's a whole bunch of different ontological arguments, and we'll just try to put a bow on all of them. It's going to be confusing, but we'll try to at least get the concept down, right? So that's the plan for the show. Dean watched a video on how to do timestamps. Okay, Dean, it's not hard. You just, look, you would just do this. If it's 1 minute, 20 seconds, you go 1:20. That's a timestamp. That's all you got to do. If it's 10 minutes into the show, if it's an hour and 20 minutes and 10 seconds into the show, you'd go 1:20. 2010. That's all you do. Oops, sorry. 120. Why does it keep doing the 100? It keeps doing the 100. Okay. That's a timestamp if there's an hour. That's all you do. You just write that in the chat and it links it. But you are right. When you're watching a live, you can't really do timestamps, Dean, because Dean was saying he's going to keep a timer from when the show starts and he's just going to guess on the timestamp. Don't do that, Dean, because uh, the timestamp thing is if you're watching retroactively. If you don't catch the stream and you go back and you watch what you missed, timestamp it in the comment section. A live chat timestamp is not going to work. And during the live, you're not going to be able to see an accurate timestamp because during the live, it like counts backwards. So during the lives, don't worry about the timestamps, Dean. But if you're ever watching a video in the future, then you can just drop. It's that simple. You just type how I just typed in the chat, and that's a timestamp. It'll automatically link it. So that's that. I give Dean my power until next week. Chillaxing, got to go to bed early tonight. All right, baby. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for dropping in and saying hi. We'll catch you later. Have a good sleep, my boy. Dean, Seesaw. What's up, Seesaw? I heard you you called Nick the other day. I was just looking for something to listen to, and I picked a random Nick stream, and I jumped to a random point in the video. I jumped like 20 minutes in. And Seesaw's on the phone. I was like, wow. I just picked a random Nick stream that I didn't watch, and I jumped to a random time point, and Seesaw's talking. She trying to be a celebrity now? The heck? Seesaw never used to call anybody, but she calls into my show. I think we got her comfortable. I think we're helping Seesaw blossom out to be this conservative woman arbiter, this Latino conservative woman arbiter of truth, and she's just she's gonna be spreading the word to the world now. we got her comfortable with jumping on the show. Now she calls all the shows. I'm taking credit for that. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. What else? Any other updates, news? Last show until the trip. I'm leaving on Thursday. So this Monday we'll do this show. 3-hour show. We'll try to get through it real quick because I gotta go to work in 4 hours. I gotta go to work at 10, 5 hours. So let's get through this show. And then there probably won't be any streams until Thursday. I might do like an IRL stream when I'm going to the airport or when I get to the airport. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I might do one gaming stream in between now and then. It's possible. There is a lot of videos I've been wanting to watch with you guys that we never watched the moral argument videos. So I just been busy. I've been busy than a mug, you know. Let me share this out to the Discord real quick, and then we will get right into the Davos stuff. Davos, the World Economic Forum. We got some actors. Well, I don't know if they're actors. Listen, apparently Davos will bring in some like counter narrative people like Milei. We'll play a clip of Milei, the new, was it Argentinian guy, the base guy? But if they're going to the World Economic Forum, does that mean they're a bad guy automatically? Or do we have some good people that are going to the World Economic Forum to counter signal? That's what it seems like. But also at the same time, that may be a op, because why are they at the World Economic Forum in the first place? But then I think Trump's been to the World Economic Forum, Milei. So I don't think if you go to the World Economic Forum, you're automatically a bad guy. But there are a lot of bad guys at the World Economic Forum. You know what I'm saying? All right. Shared that out there. let me see. One more place that I want to share this to, and then we'll get on to the news. How's everybody doing today? How's your weeks going? What's going on? Talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby. Seesaw secretly running Bond from the shadows. Keep your power app it. Keep your power app it. Okay, got it. No, I have a stopwatch running, and if there's something that's good, I'll look at my timer and watch, and it'll be a few seconds late, but in that area. All right. Yeah, but the problem is, Dean, that it's gonna if you post it, you're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to get out of the live chat, and you're gonna have to go post it as a comment. Because if you post in the live chat, it's not gonna it's not gonna make it into a timestamp. And also, even if it did, I would have to go back through the live chat and scroll through the whole live chat to find it. So you have to leave the live chat, go to the comments, and drop it as a comment if you do that. But all right, let's get this news going. Davos and the World Economic Forum. We'll start going straight from World Economic Forum. I hope Buffs Drinks a Lot is here watching the show, and he doesn't just jump into my live streams when he's allowed to join the panel so that he could try to run the show. I hope he actually watches the show to understand where I get my sources from, which is everywhere. Everything. So we're talking about the World Economic Forum. Where is our first source going to be? Our first source is going to be the World Economic Forum website. Now that's on the internet. That's on the internet, guys. So I guess it's not credible to read from the website of the group that you're talking about because it's on the internet. Dumb. So dumb. It's such a dumb argument. But anyway, World Economic Forum, Davos 2024, 4 things you need to know, according to them. The World Economic Forum's annual meeting takes place in Davos from the 15th to the 19th of January 2024. Here are some key moments from this weekend. At the 54th World Economic Forum annual meeting, global leaders met to rebuild trust, generate new ideas, and create partnerships to advance solutions to the challenges we face. Climate change. From artificial intelligence to climate change and global growth. Global growth? Since when do they mean economic growth? Since when is the World Economic Forum about global growth? They must mean economic growth because they're definitely about reducing the population. We discussed how cooperation can help us make progress on the challenges we face today and into the future. These are some of the key talking points. 1, leaders need to pull together. Pull together. One world government. Right. We all need to hold hands and kumbaya and be happy. Global cooperation and security. On Tuesday morning, Borge Brende, that's a cool name, Borge Brende, reminded us of the complexity of the geopolitical and geoeconomic backdrop against which this year's annual meeting took place. But Antonio Guterres warned on Wednesday we mustn't allow geopolitical divides to prevent global responses to global challenges, like climate change or AI, as he called for reforms to global governance systems. Global government, one world government. This is what they're all about. These are the horsemen of the apocalypse.
Geopolitical divides are preventing us from coming together around global solutions for global challenges. Little wonder that people everywhere are losing faith in governments, institutions.
It's faith, bro. He said faith.
And financial and economic systems.
Okay, well, that was exactly what I just read. Oh, Zelensky. We got our boy Zelensky up at the podium.
The war will end.
The war.
With a just and stable peace.
Yes.
And I want you to be...
I am always constipated when I am speaking. My name is Zelensky, and I am trying to take a dump while I am speaking to you.
Part of this peace starting from right now to bring the peace closer. And we need you in Ukraine to build, to reconstruct, to restore.
Hey, he got a new shirt. My boy. What is this symbol on his shirt, I wonder? I don't know, but he got a new shirt. He still doesn't own a single suit. I've never seen him wear a collar.
Lives. Each of you can be even more successful with Ukraine. And these days, right here in such beautiful country, in Switzerland, we have made a key political contribution to the possibility of ending the war.
What's up, Latina? All right, enough of this guy. President Zelensky. Cooperation isn't just necessary in the context of security and geopolitics either, with calls from Pedro Sanchez and Emmanuel Macron for collaboration in AI governance. While AI governance, oh, that sounds wonderful. That sounds glorious. While Ajay Banga and Kristalina Georgizia stress the need for leadership in tackling climate change, even if it's unpopular. Oh, God. We got Christina Georgia Lavinia. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Projections are not destiny. No, Destiny's a YouTuber. Projections are not destiny. Multiple factors. This is talking point number 2. Multiple fast. And also remember, these are the talking points from their perspective. We'll look at some other media sources, what they're saying, maybe some negative things that are coming from this. Oh, I'm on the wrong scene. A moose lamb type animal. I saw a Ukrainian couple in the grocery store, and I've always thought Zelensky looks like a moose lamb type animal. A moose lamb type animal. What is a moose lamb? Does that mean a mix between a moose and a lamb, or is that like a baby moose? Is a moose lamb? I don't know. An uncertain economic outlook underpinned many conversations this week, despite an apparent soft landing from interest rate rises and high inflations, as speakers suggested our high rate reality session first thing on Tuesday. Consumption, trade patterns, debt, whether inflation will continue to cool, as well as geopolitical risks and fragmentation, were all on the table in our global economic outlook. The global economy showed remarkable resilience last year, said Christian Linder, but as Negozio Okonjo Iweala and David Rubenstein reminded us, forecasts are difficult. We're moving to non-normality, Christian Lagarde said. Look at this lady. Looking like Tales from the Crypt. Is that the Crypt Keeper? What the?
To something that I called normalization. That's what we are beginning to see, especially in the end of 23, but towards something that is not going to be normality. So from normalization to non-normality. So what do I mean by that? The period before 23 was strange, extraordinary, difficult to analyze by many accounts.
Yeah, because you guys shut down the whole world with an engineered virus that you used as human warheads with people from Wuhan that you sent all over the Western world to destroy the world's economy and lock us down and make everybody damn crazy.
In 23, we have seen the beginning of normalization. When you look at consumption, for instance, around the world, I'm not talking just about the euro area, consumption is still a driving force for growth, but the tailwind that we had the benefit of are gradually
Rubenstein, huh?
Fading.
It's like a ruble and a stein. It might as well just be Goldstein.
This
is Guatemala even in this meeting? I doubt it.
Labor market, still tight, but a little less. And
I doubt it, Flora. Bananas are not part of the world globally. You got to have oil or gold to show. You got to have oil, gold, or a lot of money in companies and stocks, and yeah, to show up at this thing. They ain't calling no dang Guatemala to the World Economic Forum.
Some of the indices that we use to identify the relationship, particularly between vacancy.
All right. Mohammed Al-Jadeen stressed, quoting Ajay Banga, projections are not destiny. So leaders at Davos this week were asked, how can growth be revitalized? Pedro Sanchez called for a new paradigm. I know it's paradigm, but I like to say paradigm. Paradigm sounds cooler. Of prosperity, while Javier Milei made the case for free trade capitalism. A World Economic Forum report this week also called for a new model of growth that balances productivity with equity and sustainability. Equity. Whether through the equitable distribution of benefits of AI enhancing gender parity. Enhancing gender parity. What does that mean? It's a link. I'm clicking on it. What's this? Davos, the economics of gender parity. Potential gains from closing economic gender gaps. Oh, it's the stupid gender gap. The gender wage gap. Here, let me explain the gender wage gap to you guys right now. Women make 70 cents on the dollar for every dollar a man makes. That means when a man goes to work and makes $1, he's got to give 70 cents of it to some woman, and he only left with 30 cents. That is, you're right. There's gender wage gap here. The man only gets 30 cents of his dollar. He's got to give 70 cents of it to his wife and his kids. So, yeah. This is gender inequity. This is gender inequality. For every dollar a man makes, he's got to give 70 cents of it to a woman. Basically, is what that gender wage gap means. What are these people talking
Good
about?
afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
This is 43 minutes long. I'm not watching a 43-minute video about gender wage gap. These are the wealthiest people in the world who still are pretending like this is a real thing. Like the gender wage gap is real. They need to go watch a Jordan Peterson video or something. We got more than bananas. We got the banana. Okay. Yeah, we're not going to watch all that. Let's get through these points real quick. Number 3, humans are going to have better tools. Humans are going to have better tools. By better tools, they mean better humans. New humans are going to replace the old humans. That's what they're saying here. AI was a hot topic. Brad Smith called for global approach on regulations. Jeremy Hunt said regulations should be light touch. Sam Altman said that all people must be involved in the development of the technology because AI won't replace our understanding of each other. We don't understand each other already. This is crazy. Humans know what other humans want. Humans are going to have better tools. We've had better tools before, but we're still these are the richest, most powerful people in the world, and they all sound retarded. Just so you know. Just so you know. we had better tools before. What happened? Where did they go? Where did they go? And do you think that we understand each other better now than we always did in the past? No, that's crazy. These people are dumb. Oh, we got a philosopher. We got a philosopher there. Michael Sandel explored the ethical questions AI poses beyond jobs, fairness, privacy, and democracy to whether technology would affect what it means to be human. Finally, there was some consensus that human qualities will prevail and that human connection will remain relevant. Bullcrap. Bullcrap. Y'all know that's a lie. Nick Clegg, these robots are going to destroy humans. Nick Clegg highlighted the need for the political, societal, and ethical debate to happen in parallel as the technology is evolving. Okay. And then last but not least, urgency is our only savior. You see how satanic this crap is? You see, they kind of like try to put it in the messaging. They put like subliminal, satanic, evil stuff in the messaging. Urgency is our only savior. How about Christ is our only savior? Can we say that, Davos? Can we fix this? Urgency is our only savior. What do we urgently need to do, Davos? Please tell me. Tackling climate change and building new energy systems like space lasers that destroy California and Hawaii and light forests on fire randomly. And nobody knows where the fires came from. Oh, it's because they're testing the damn Jewish space laser over your house. Anyway. I'm not supposed to say that on YouTube. It's not. I said Chewish. It's chewy. It's chewy. It's a Chewish space laser. Facts getting analyzed. We have an existential climate crisis. A sense of urgency is our only savior. Wrong. Christ is your only savior. You better get to know him or you're going to burn regardless of global warming. You're going to be down in Sheol and it's going to get hot. It's going to get hot, boys. He said it was a message repeated throughout the week as John Kerry. Oh, is that isn't he married to damn ketchup, what's it called? Like princess, like a ketchup queen. Wasn't he married to like the Heinz family? Told a session on what we need to do after COP28. What is COP28? COP28. Copy. COP28. It can't be business as usual. We have the technology, he said, but we're not deploying it fast enough. We have the technology. We can rebuild it back better. I disagree. COP28. United Nations Climate Change Conference. COP28. COP28. Conference in Dubai. Climate Change Conference in Dubai. Okay. COP28. Never heard of this. UAE, United Nations Climate Change Conference in Dubai. Okay. So we got World Economic Forum. We got the COP23. Okay. So urgency is our only savior. These people don't know Jesus. And they're going to burn anyway, regardless of if they pretend to fix the climate or not. So feel secure in knowing that fact. A little factoid. All right. We read enough World Economic Forum. We'll come back to this. Well, we'll just look through these pictures real quick. Agenda articles. Let's see some of the. We're not going to read these, but future of cities and local economies at Davos. Key takeaways: how a nature-forward global economy can tackle both instability and inequality. Oh, this is so evil. It sounds good. But it's not. Large language models and moonshots. What is a moonshot? A moonshot? Is that like never mind. That's a dirty joke. Never mind. Black women in the US experience more pregnancy complications. Here's why that needs to change. Damn, God is a racist. Why? Pregnancy is racist. Did you guys know that black women in the U.S. experience more pregnancy complications? It's probably due to socioeconomic racism and systemic racism throughout the decades. Now they can't, now they have more pregnancy complications. Or maybe it's because they've biologically been engineered to reject babies because they've had so many abortions. Maybe that's what it's from. Lessons from Rwanda. Building systems to protect against infectious diseases and biothreats. Oh, is this like when Bill Gates goes to Africa and starts giving them diseases in the form of vaccines and like wipes out tribes and stuff? Is this what we're talking about? We're going to be taking out Rwanda next. Japan's pivotal global role. Insights from Davos 2024. Middle East insights and discussions. Why 2024 is the tipping point. Investing in sustainable buildings. This is like the Green New Deal where they talk about every building needs to be renovated. These same people will talk about deficits, and yet they want to renovate every building in America to make it more energy sustaining. Do you know how expensive that would be? Do you know how impractical that would be? Do you know how many people would lose their homes when they try to do this stuff? You're going to lose your house. You're going to lose your 3-bedroom house, and instead you're going to get a coffin apartment because it's more sustainable. It's more economically and climate sustainable. It has less of a carbon footprint if you just live in a coffin apartment like they do in China. Oh, God. How to turn eco-anxiety into bold action on nature. Latin America is moving towards sustainable economy. These are the challenges and opportunities. Oh, yeah. Great example. How can we rebuild trust? Key quotes from 8 leaders at Davos. Okay, so those are all the articles. You can go read them at the World Economic Forum website. Let's see what Fox is saying. World leaders debate global carbon tax. Oh, well, they didn't put that in the they didn't put that on the World Economic Forum website. Leaders discussed a potential global carbon tax during a panel discussing the economic outlook at the World Economic Forum. Let's see what this guy talking about. Global carbon tax.
Shop every day.
By the way, the global carbon tax, very similar to what the farmers are protesting. The nitrogen tax, the cow fart tax, global carbon tax. These are the types of things that all the farmers are protesting against in Poland, in the Dutch farmers, the Polish. I think in Germany they're protesting. Farmers are protesting this crap all over the world That's the nitrogen tax. It's not the same as the carbon tax, but basically, same idea. It's a tax on imaginary bullcrap so that they could just destroy farms, and then the farmer loses his farm. He can't afford the taxes. He has to start selling his cows off. Now he can't sustain his home. It's sustainable for the climate, and it's sustainable for the global economy, but it's not sustainable for the individual. It's not sustainable for the farmer who owns the farm and he has 40,000 cows, and now he's got to pay an extra nitrogen tax on them. He's got to pay a carbon tax for all his farm equipment. He can't afford it, so he's got to sell his farm. Do you know who comes in and buys the farm? The people who put the tax on the farmer. The Davos people, the Davos demons swoop in. The Chinese swoop in and they buy up the farmland, and then they start growing crickets. They start growing the dang bugs. Shout out farmers. It's pronounced the way the scary lady said, anal lies. Anal lies. Facts getting analyzed. Oh, no. I think I need to post a URL with timestamp for private video that has comment section, just not just live comments. I appreciate that. I'm learning how to work YouTube. You don't need to post a URL, Dean. You just type in the time. You just type in what time it is. That's all you got to do. You don't have to add a URL. You don't got to highlight it and create a hyperlink. You don't have to do any of that. You just type in the timestamp in the comment section, not the live chat section, which is what you're in right now, but the comment section. So if you're on a phone and it says live chat, you see the live chat. If you swipe right, it will go to the comment section. Comment section and live chat section are two different things. You got to put the timestamps in the comment section. Facts, it's about water rights. Oh, they're cracking down on the water too? What are they going to call that? A H2O tax? We're going to have nitrogen tax, carbon tax, H2O tax. I say it all the time. You've probably heard this before. But humans are carbon-based life forms. So when they say that they're putting a carbon tax out, what they mean is they're putting a living tax. It's a tax to live. It's a tax to be alive. And this is why they want to do the 15-minute cities. They want to do the coffin apartments. They want us eating the bugs. They want to buy up the farmland. They want to reduce the population. All these things are tied together. Carbon tax means life tax, tax to live, basically. Every breath you take, eventually they're going to be step counters. They already have this in some companies like Amazon. Step counters. How many steps do you take? They're already putting chips in all the cars so they know how much you drive. It's only so long before there's a limit to how much you can drive your electric car. I wouldn't be surprised if at some point they gave electric car vouchers to people. Another great way to destroy the economy. Just give everybody a free car. You might think that sounds crazy, Josh. I don't think it's that crazy. It'll be some whack little buggy electric like a little golf cart, and they'll just give everybody a dang electric car voucher. But you got to turn in your gas powered car. We're not going to give you any money for that. We're going to give you an electric car voucher, and that electric car is going to be hooked up to the system. They're going to monitor your driving, and they're just going to shut your car down when you reach your limit, and you're only going to be able to drive a certain amount. But they're going to make sure that you need your car still. This is how they set the system up, okay? They'll put all the jobs in the urban areas, in the cities, in the Democrat cities. All the best jobs are in the city. But all the people don't want to, the base people, the normal people, non-degenerate people, don't want to live in the city. So they live outside the city in the country where it's nice, where there's good schools, where you got a little bit of property, where you can afford a decent house for a decent wage, out in the country. But the job are in the city. So now you've got to commute to work for an hour back and forth every day. But people will put up with that because it's like, I don't want to live in the city. I don't want to live in the coffin apartment. I want my nice house in the country, but I work in the city. So I'm going to drive back and forth every day. Well, when there's carbon taxes, when there's limited driving in the 15-minute cities and all that stuff. Now, all of a sudden, you have two choices. Lose your job, become poor, sell your house to the Davos people. They'll come up, BlackRock, Vanguard, somebody will come in and buy your house, and then you can go get an apartment in the city or be homeless, or you keep your job and you move to the city. So your options are the same. Get out of the country and go to the city. That's what they want. They want us all congested into these tight little groups. They don't want people having autonomy and living on a big piece of property where you can homestead and you can grow your own food and you can have some chickens, you can have some rabbits, you can have a goat or two. They don't want that. They want you in the coffin apartment with the little electric golf cart with walls around the city. You can't come or go freely. Each 15-minute city is going to have a passport system, just like, so it'll be like traveling from country to country to travel from city to city. You want to go see your grandma in Atlanta? Well, you're going to have to get a passport. You're going to have a stamp. Oh, you're only allowed to fly twice a year because of carbon taxes. You already reached your limit. Can't see grandma for Christmas this year. It's all coming. It's coming. Boy, the drought, the water stuff. Yes. I haven't even touched on the water situation. The farmland is being taken over. Like you mentioned, the poor farmers can't afford to drill deeper in water tables. Yeah, see, so that's a whole other aspect of it that I haven't looked a lot into. But yeah, the water stuff, they will limit the amount of water that you can use, so you can't water your crops properly. Now your crops are dying, you're not making profit, and you lose your farm. And that's by design. It's not it's not that you're not working hard enough. It's not that, you know, you're a failure in life. It's by design. They don't want you growing food for you and your family and other people. They don't want you self-sufficient. They want you to rely on them. So that's what Davos is all about. Carbon taxes, of course. What's Reuters saying? What we learned from the World Economic Forum in 2024. This is from Reuters. Middle East, Gaza dominated the agenda of the World Economic Forum, but leaders failed to produce clear details of any practical pathway to Palestinian statehood or a ceasefire between Israel and Gaza's Palestinian militant group Hamas. The war is slowing down the economy of the entire region, said Qatar's finance minister. Palestine invested fund estimated at least $15 billion would be needed to rebuild houses. Oh, so we're going to we pay for Gaza's missiles, we pay for Israel's missiles. They shoot missiles at each other, and then we pay to rebuild what they blew up with our missiles. Okay, I get it. It makes sense. How much money did we give Israel to pay for all their missiles for their Iron Dome so that they could shoot 5,000, and Hamas's missiles so that they could breach the Iron Dome so they could shoot 5,000 missiles at one time? How do you think they paid for all that stuff? Where do you think those armaments come from for both sides? And now we have to pay to rebuild the buildings that we paid to blow up. Oh my God, it's crazy. Attacks by Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthi group on ships in the Red Sea would drive the cost of goods from Asia to Europe much higher. Logistics giant DP World said, CEOs at Davos said they were gaming out alternative supply routes. Yemen's vice president and Iran's foreign minister said the attacks would not stop until Israel ended the war in Gaza. If it's in the short term, tankers might be available, but if it's in the longer term, it might be a problem. Oil giant. So China, what we got happening in China? Medium underscoring the skepticism about China's charm offenses. Premier Li Qiang told Davos China's economy was open for business and highlighted its potential for foreign investment. But investors remain cautious and sluggish post-pandemic recovery, and tensions with the United States. Asked how helpful a closed-door lunch with Li was. One CEO said medium, underscoring the skepticism about China's charm offensive. I'm glad that people are all talking. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon after the Li lunch. JP Morgan CEO is having lunch with China, with Li Qiang. Artificial intelligence, big thing. Debt restructuring. Argentina's newly elected president Javier Milei made his debut with a speech on the main Davos stage, and then quickly sat down with the the IMF managing director, Kristalina Georgievska, to discuss his plan to navigate his country's debt maze. Ghana will. Yeah, see, I think this Millet guy might be a op. He might be a op. Ghana will. I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying it seems fishy. Seems fishy. We had Trump, and I think Trump is legit, but then we see all these like fake little mini Trumps popping up all around the world in all these foreign countries. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe that these. I guess it's possible that Trump started some like based movement across the world where all these anti-establishment people are getting into power, or it's an op. It's a big op. I don't know. Yeah, see, Dean, what you just did? That is a timestamp, but that doesn't help me because I'm not going to I'm not going to scroll through the whole live chat. You have to do that in the comment section. This is not the comments. That's not the comment section. That's the live chat. So, like, what you did there is correct, but you got to put it in the comment section. Otherwise, it doesn't make it a link, and I'm not going to be able to find it. Lord Spike, yes, it's horrible. That's why I got a remote job. Sounds like SoCal. We need a god dang revival. Bukele from El Salvador really admires Trump, and look what he did, turn the country around. Okay. So he might be a real one. He might be a real one. But this Millet guy, I don't know yet. I don't know if I trust this guy. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's see what he's talking about real quick, and then we will. We're almost done with the Davos stuff. I actually I need to pick it up. We need to go faster. We spent too much time on this. Let's watch this.
Como sistema económico.
Oh, sorry if you aren't bilingual. Far from being the cause of our problems, Argentinian President Javier Milei kills them with common sense as he scolds Davos elites. So he could be a base one, but he also could be controlled opposition. We'll keep our eye on this guy. I don't know if I trust him yet. Far from being the cause of our problems,
el capitalismo de libre empresa como sistema económico es la
free enterprise capitalism as an economic system is the only tool we have to end hunger and poverty. That's true.
única herramienta que tenemos para terminar con el hambre, la pobreza y la indigencia.
Well, no, actually, that's not true. Free capitalism is not going to end hunger and poverty. No economic system is going to end poverty. The poor will always be among us. There's always gonna be poor people. It doesn't matter what economic system you come up with. You could do socialist, communist, capitalist, whatever. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be poor people. There's always going to be people who don't want to participate in the system at all, and they just want to go be nomads and travel around in their van. Right? And we'll call them poor people or poverty when really they love their life. A lot of those people have less cares or worries. Those are some of the happiest people you ever meet. Most people wish they were as happy as the homeless guy on the corner who lives in a tent. You ever think of that? You ever think of those people don't have a care in the world. Their only care is their next fix. And if they're not on drugs and they're actually just like legit a nomad who likes to live in the woods and travel around, those are the happiest people in the world. Those people aren't worried about the carbon tax. Those people aren't worried about losing their farm. Those people aren't worried about raising their kids right. Those people aren't worried. They don't care. They don't care about your taxes. They don't care about your capitalism. They don't care about your socialism. They're nomads. They just travel around. They're vagabonds. They just live freely. Not a care in the world. You know? So what there's no way to end the poor. There's always going to be poor people. And the poor people, but he is right that the poor people in America are the least poor people, or the least impoverished people in poverty, right? I don't like the word poor because my point is a lot of these impoverished people are not poor people. They're happier than you are. They're chilling more than you are. Hopefully it continues. I don't trust it. Hamas has been coming through Argentina into the U.S. Ooh, okay. And that's Milei's thing. So you think he might be involved with that? Dean, just tap the X sign on your top right of live chat. Go to comments after that and post the timestamp. I read he is going hard after the gangs. The Bukele guy from El Salvador, yeah, she's told me a lot about that guy. He's cracking down, and I guess she got a new dude in Guatemala too, and he seems kind of based too. Nah, JS, just scratch the whole timestamp. I'll figure it out. I'll write them in my timer watch ticket. Can't scroll to comments once I'm in live chat. You can, but anyway, there is a way to do it. It's hard to explain. All you have to do is just swipe over. You just swipe the chats over. I don't know, I can't like show it to you, but anyway, let's listen to this and get done with this.
A lo largo y a lo ancho de todo el planeta. La evidencia empírica es incuestionable. Por eso, como no cabe duda de que el
since there's no
capitalismo de
doubt
libre
that free
mercado
market
es
capitalism
superior
is
en
superior
términos
in
productivos,
productive terms,
la
that's
doxa
true.
de izquierda ha
The left
atacado
wing
al
has attacked
capitalismo por sus
capitalism on
cuestiones de
moral
moralidad,
grounds,
por ser,
as being,
según
according
ellos,
to its detractors,
dicen sus detractores,
unjust.
que es injusto. Dicen que el capitalismo
They
es
say that
malo porque es
capitalism is bad
individualista
because it is
y que el
individualistic.
colectivismo
That's true. And collectivism is good because it is autistic. I'm just kidding. It says altruistic. Collectivism is good because it is altruistic. Capitalism is bad because it's individual. Yep.
es bueno porque es altruista
He's not wrong.
con la ajena. Y en consecuencia,
Consequently,
bregan
they
por la
strive for
justicia
social
social.
justice. Yeah, he's not wrong with anything he said, but capitalism is not going to. My only point is capitalism is not going to end poverty. The poor will always be among us. You know who said that? Jesus said that, and I think he knows more than any of these guys know about the world. Okay, so all that happened. I think we have one more video. I don't know if we need. Oh, this is what I want to talk about. So, according to Davos, by the way, guys, it's no longer called the New World Order. Now they're calling it the New Order. This is from The Hill. Davos elites plan to bomb their way to peace. WEF promises new order. So it's not the New World Order anymore. He sounds like a Republican rhino. I don't know. The videos when he first got he seems base, but he also seems like a character. I don't know. But Trump is a character too. But I feel when Trump speaks, that sounds genuine. When this guy speaks, I don't know. It's hard to suss out if they sound genuine or not when they speak Spanish. So I can't like analyze it as well because he's speaking Spanish. So I don't know. Flora would probably know best. You think that Milei guy is genuine, or you think he's an op? Is he controlled opposition? Is he a puppet that just says all the right things to get elected? And what do you think about Milei, Floor? Have you seen much about him? Looked into him much? He's wild. He's a wild guy. He's pretty funny too sometimes. He said, apuesta, or what is it? He said, afueta, afueta, afueta. Or I think afuet, something like that. He sent. I already read that. Okay. So it's no longer the New World Order. They've rebranded it. It is now called the New World. It is called the New Order. And Davos is going to bomb their way to peace. Last on this topic, this is 11 minutes long.
For more money to fund the war against Russia. NATO Chief Stoltenberg is hinting that he plans.
I think basically what the World Economic Forum is saying, we're going to bomb everybody. We're going to bomb Russia. We're going to bomb the Middle East. We're going to bomb anybody. We're going to bomb China if they start messing with Taiwan. We're just going to drop a lot of bombs for a new order. A new order. Not a new world order, because they know that has bad connotations with people. They're going to call it the New Order. He is flamboyant. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I don't mean flamboyant like in a gay way. I don't know if you meant it in a gay way, but like you mean like he's very la 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 like he's very emotive. Is that what you mean? I don't I see him as flamboyant in that way. I don't see him as flamboyant like gay flamboyant. But maybe you saw something I didn't see. I don't know. Um we need to send JS to the churches to publicly speak. The churches. Okay.
Plans on ramping up.
All right. Enough Davos crap. New order, bombing, carbon emission, taxes, climate change, equity, diversity, inclusion, all the same garbage that they've been doing to us. So that's that. That's your World Economic Forum update. Now let's move on to tech news. Crazy tech. We got new science, new tech. I've been telling you guys about the solar powered lasers in space. We've talked about them a lot. You know, I said a month before Hawaii happened, I posted on Facebook, when our government starts burning cities down with lasers, don't be surprised and don't act like nobody told you, because if you're paying attention, people are telling you. On the internet, on the internet, on the internet, I said, if a city gets burnt down and there's talks of lasers from the sky, don't act surprised. And then a month later, Hawaii happened. Sure enough. Sure enough. Yep. And also, so these solar powered there's satellites in our sky. Flat earthers, sorry, you don't get to participate in this conspiracy theory because you don't believe in space. You don't believe satellites in the space station and all that cool tech, James Webb. You don't believe in that stuff. So you don't get to play with this one. Sorry, you're going to have to sit out today. But we got freaking satellites in the sky with giant solar panels collecting solar energy and beaming it down to Earth. And there was a conspiracy theory way before Hawaii happened. This happened in, what year was it? What year was it when all those fires were popping up in California? Well, anyway, a bunch of fires were popping up all over California. Some people were saying the homeless were doing it. Some people were saying other things were doing it. One of the theories is that I believe it's Raytheon or some weapons company was testing their solar powered I don't mean solar powered satellites. I mean satellites that collect solar energy to beam it down to Earth so that we can get cheap. I doubt it's cheap, but so that we can get power, right? Solar power from space. These satellites collect the sunlight and they beam it down to Earth so we can use it for energy, is the idea. But they were testing this stuff, and then it wasn't working very well. We also heard about power plants in Hawaii being the power plant was overpowered and that the power plant was like blowing up and stuff. So anyway, this all ties back to the lasers in space. They've been testing them. This idea started 50 years ago. They've been working on it for 50 years. They've been testing them. Whenever they test them, a city burns down. 2008 to 2010. Yeah, and then that goes to the Jewish space laser conspiracy theory that like Marjorie Taylor Greene brought up. Basically, the idea was those fires were coming because I think it was Raytheon or some company had satellites and they were doing solar space energy and they were testing it and it didn't work. It didn't work. It just lit stuff on fire. So, and there are theories that could have been what happened in Hawaii as well, and probably more places all over the world. My dad always tells me the next war is going to be from space to Earth. Yeah, we've been in the space war. There's a space war going on right now between satellites. Some people want to have space dominance, and they want to have a network of satellites making a web around the whole planet. Elon's trying to do it. We talked about another company, but anyway, the space lasers are online, ladies and gentlemen.
Of energy for life on Earth.
Solaris program.
Stored in fossil fuels, the sun's energy has powered modern civilization for over 200 years. But the use of fossil fuels has resulted in dangerous global warming and a changing climate, to the extent that
I think solar-powered space lasers are resulting in dangerous global warming as well. Like so warm that it burns down a city.
the United Nations and the European Union have declared a climate.
So yeah, Spike said 2008 to 2010. I think I'm talking about the 2020 fires. I think. But yeah, I mean, they could both be related. It could all be the same thing.
Emergency. Transitioning to clean energy is an urgent imperative, and Europe.
And YouTube, I'm not saying I'm for sure 100% correct about this. I don't know that those fires were started by space lasers. I don't know that for sure. But I'm observant and I'm paying attention. And if you're observant and you're paying attention and things start adding up, 1 + 1 = 2. So stop trying to tell me that 1 + 1 equals global warming, because that's not the case.
Europe is committed to achieving net zero emissions by the year 2050. But this will be extremely difficult if we rely only on existing renewable and low-carbon energy solutions, as intermittency of supply, pressures on land use, scalability and toxic waste limit how quickly and effectively existing energy sources can be rolled.
Right, so we're killing the birds with the windmills, we're destroying wildlife to make these huge solar farms. And so they decide instead, we'll just put a bunch of satellites up there with solar panels on them, and we'll beam solar-powered energy to Earth with space lasers. That sounds like a brilliant idea. And then we have AI that's going to take over the government soon, according to Davos, according to the World Economic Forum. So what happens when the AI takes over the satellite space laser network?
Out.
This is probably copyright independent. Just get to the point.
The European Space Agency has been investigating a new solution that could overcome all these problems. Solar power delivered wirelessly from space to Earth.
Solar power delivered wirelessly through space. That means solar energy beamed to Earth in the form of a laser.
Europe has the technology lead in building and launching communication satellites. This deep know-how can be built upon to develop and scale up solar power satellites.
Look at that. Look at that. Wow.
Huge orbiting solar farms built up of many similar parts that will be mass produced.
Oh, it's got to be fake because there's a CGI recreation. It's got to be fake. Rockets aren't real, even though you could go build one yourself and shoot it up into space.
Launched into space on low-cost, reusable launchers.
We don't know the shape of the Earth, even though you could do a simple experiment and figure it out yourself. NASA never told us anything about the shape of the Earth. Explorers and smart people did experiments, and they observed it and figured it out. It's not complicated. It's not about belief. It's about, not being an idiot.
And assembled together in orbit using advanced robotic techniques.
Sorry, flat earthers. I know the flat earthers aren't going to believe any of this. This is all fake. And then when they get laser toasted, when they get toasty roasted by a laser, I'm going to laugh.
Once completed, these satellites will collect the full power of the sun's energy 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and beam it wirelessly down to Earth to receiver stations, which will turn it back into electricity and deliver it to the grid. Space-based solar power is thus a continuously available, inexhaustible, sustainable and scalable source of energy that could help Europe meet its climate and energy security goals.
Is that little robot 3D printing more panels? That's crazy. So, there's a little robot that flies around 3D printing new panels. I don't know if that's what that was showing us, but that's what it looked like. And if that's the case, that's That's crazy tech.
Not science fiction.
And remember, the tech is 20 to 50 years more advanced than what we know about. If they're showing this to us, they already have this. They already have this. They've already been working on this.
Technologies are understood and are already being demonstrated on Earth and in space today. However, there are still many engineering and policy challenges that would need to be overcome to make this ultimate energy source a reality as early as the next decade. Other nations are already working on realizing space-based solar power.
Oh my God, we're going to have a space laser war. I've been talking about the laser war in space for a long time, and it's coming soon to a neighborhood near you. Look at that. Look at that, dang space lasers. Yeah, what a mess. Okay. We got more tech news. So we got the Space Laser Network going up. It is coming online, guys. It's coming online. But we got more tech news. We just got interesting tech news today. Google was sending me all this stuff because it knows that I'm interested in it. I was like, let's do a tech bit. More lasers. NASA moon orbiter beams laser off Indian lander in historic first. So apparently we have a moon orbiter. NASA has a moon orbiter. I didn't even know that. And they bounced the laser off the Indian lander. Milestone could help researchers better locate objects on the lunar surface. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter recently bounced a laser off India's Vikram moonlander, marking a space communications first. Vikram touchdown. And I know if you're not a flat earther, you might be a moon landing denier and you don't think that we could ever land on the moon. All right. You don't get to play with this one either. This is why some of the conspiracy theories bug me, because then you can't get involved in the other conspiracy theories. I don't know if the moon landings that we were shown in the late 60s or whatever were real, but I definitely think that by now we are going to the moon. We can go to the moon. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. If you have a team of geniuses and engineers and astrophysicists and rocket designers working together on one project, you think we can't send a little piece of rocket up to the moon? Then you severely underestimate the explorative nature of man. Like, yeah. So, like, I don't think it's that crazy to believe that we went to the moon. Maybe in the 60s, maybe that was a lie and they filmed some of it and blah, blah, blah so that we could win the space race. But by now, I do believe India has a lander on the moon. And I do believe NASA has an orbiter that can beam lasers off of it to say, oh, yep, that's where it is. So maybe I'm crazy, but I don't think so. Vikram touched down near the lunar pole on India's pioneering Chandrayaan-3 mission, which also included a rover named Pragyan. Vikram carried on its body a tiny NASA laser reflector array, or LRA for short. And then they bounced it. Whoa, what is this? That's how tiny it is? The next step is to improve the technique so it can become routine missions, use reflectors in the future. We've shown that we can locate our retro reflector on the surface from the moon's orbit. Nice. So, more lasers. NASA's bouncing lasers off the lander. I'm going to be pissing all the anti-NASA people off today. Look, we're going to be purging viewers because everybody's going to be like, you believe in the moon landing? And you believe the world is round? Yes, I do. I do. Sorry. All right, let's keep going. Other tech, what do we got? Britain says it developed and test fired a futuristic laser cannon that can shoot drones out of the sky. I might have already done a story on this during my laser episodes. We've done like 5 episodes just talking about freaking lasers and futuristic tech. So this is a running theme on the channel. I got to keep you guys updated on these space lasers because they're going to try to light us on fire. Farm Temis just delayed another moon mission. Yet again. Fartimus. So Artemis, but with Fartimus. The UK has tested a new laser weapon for shooting down drones. I think we talked about this already. It can help defend ships and armored vehicles against drone swarms. I just like this picture. So, Dragonfire laser. This is called UK's Dragonfire laser. That thing's wild. Now, is it an actual laser? Because I saw some laser in like Israel or something that was being used to shoot down rockets, and it looked like a laser tracking rockets in the sky and blowing them out of the sky, but it actually wasn't a laser. It was actually just tracer bullets. Just tracer bullets in a gun that shoots very rapidly. It would go, and it looked like a laser because there were tracers. But this apparently is a real laser, the Dragonfire laser in Great Britain. So watch out. Watch out for lasers, guys. You know. What's good? Stop by to say hi. What's up, SC? Let's see. NASA's new supersonic. Oh, here's a cool. Okay, so we're enough with the lasers, but let's keep the tech rolling. New tech. New tech. Look at this. NASA's new supersonic jet will fly you from New York and land in London by the time passengers would have finished watching Oppenheimer. The supersonic jet will fly so fast that it can't even have a windshield. So it doesn't have a windshield because the front is curved and the pilot sits back here in like the middle of the plane. And he has a camera that is mounted on the front of the plane in order to fly. And this thing goes into... It breaks the sound barrier, but it's a different... Here, let me just read it. This ultra-sleek aircraft developed by NASA and Lockheed Martin represents a significant step towards reintroducing supersonic civilian air travel. Called the X-59, I can't wait. Honestly, guys, I cannot wait until we start having some... what's the word? Parabolic. When we start having public... We already have them. You can... Actually, right now, I have a story. Oh, no, I don't have the story, but... Currently, we're sending 4 civilians to the ISS space station. Now, I don't know how much they paid for their tickets. Probably a whole lot of money. But civilians are starting to be able to go to the ISS. If you have enough money, you can get on a parabolic flight, whether it be through Virgin Galactic or Elon's thing or Bezos's thing. There's multiple different companies that you could go to, and you could spend $100,000 to $300,000, and you could go on a parabolic flight and see the curve of the Earth. If you have enough money, you can go up to the space station now. They're starting to take civilians up there. So it's going to be great when it's just publicly available at a reasonable price to take a parabolic flight or to go up to the space station or to jump on one of these supersonic NASA planes that can fly you from New York to London in 20 minutes. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. This one-of-a-kind experimental aircraft was revealed to the public in a joint ceremony in Palm. Sorry I keep bringing up Flat Earth, but we're doing space tech stuff. Where's Steve Harlow at? Man, they were talking about the movie Idiocracy the other day, and then they started talking about Flat Earth. And I was like, dang, man, how can you in one sentence talk about the movie Idiocracy and then the next sentence start talking about Flat Earth? You realize Flat Earth is the movie Idiocracy. Like that's the reverse Flynn effect. That's when the average IQ of America starts going down because we start reverting backwards in time and we start believing nonsense. We start believing fake conspiracy theories that are put out by ops to make us look like idiots. That is the definition of the movie Idiocracy. Just so you know. Just throwing that out there. Called the X-59, this one-of-a-kind experimental aircraft was revealed to the public in a joint ceremony in Palmdale, California on Friday. Shaped like a stretched-out arrowhead, the X-59 has been under development at Lockheed Martin Skunk Works for several years and has been funded by NASA since 2018. In just a few short years, we're going to have an ambitious concept to reality. NASA's X-59 will help change the way we travel, bring us closer together in much less time. How much are tickets on this thing going to be? Look at that. That thing's crazy looking. But how many civilians fit on it? You're going to have to make it bigger. Measuring 30.4 meters in length and slightly less than 9 meters in width, the quiet supersonic aircraft is expected to fly at 1.4 times the speed of light without generating an explosive sonic boom. Its unique shape, comprising of a thin, tapered nose that measures nearly a third of the aircraft's full length, helps in dispersing sonic boom-causing shockwaves that would typically surround supersonic aircraft. The engineers working on the aircraft claim the design will reduce the boom into a sonic thump that won't have destructive effects. The Red Bull guy that flew down from space, I couldn't see a spear. Yeah, he wasn't high enough up. He didn't go high enough. That sounds like a sick airplane. Look, see, so this is the cockpit. There's no front windshield because it'll get blown out. So he's got a screen. This is not a window, it's a screen. And there's a camera, and he flies almost like you're in a video game. Look at that cockpit. Cockpit. Look at this. In spite of going at 1.5 times the speed of sound, the X-59 will not produce the dreaded sonic boom. So it creates a subsonic boom because of the way it's shaped. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I think we got one more cool tech thing. World first. Did you send me to churches and start a new revival? I need to just start my own church. We can start a cult. No, I'm kidding. Does anyone know how we can make it happen? I'd rather get a what's it called? Like a journalist, like a traveling journalist contract with a big media company where basically, or like an independent, be like an independent journalist for a big media company like Blaze or Fox or something like that, to where they pay for your travel. They call you, they say, hey, there's a fire in the Empire State Building's on fire. Go check it out. And then they fly you out there on like a moment's notice, and then you go and cover it. That would be cool. Or like, oh, they're rioting in Kenosha. Get out there. Go cover the riot. I would love to cover riots, cover protests, and just get flown around and cover all the protests and stuff. That would be so fun. That would be based. And I think I could do a better job than some of these people. That Dean would make a great cult leader. I'm down for the cult thing. I'm on board with it. A lot of people in church have no idea what's going on. Any informed person that loves God is definitely on my team. No, we're not starting a cult, Floor. Also, you say you're down for the cult thing. Do you realize if I start a cult that I'm going to have lots of wives? Just so you know. Just so you know. If I'm starting a cult, if I'm going to be a cult leader, you think you're going to be my only wife? I'm going to have like 50 wives. I'm going to have all the wives. In fact, all the guys who join my church who are married, I'm taking their wife. Just so you know. Just so you know. Don't come into my cult married, because I'm taking your girl. She's going to, and all the men are going to have to be celibate. Except me. Except me. I'm going to be sleeping with all your wives if you join my cult. Cult 45. So, Seafloor, you might want to change your idea. I don't think you would like that very much. We're going to be like, what's his name? Koresh. No. Was Koresh the Waco guy? Koresh was, yeah, that was Koresh. Yeah. We're going to be like him. What is wrong with you? You said it. You said you wanted to be in the cult. You want to be in the cult? Then, you better line up. Okay, one more tech news. This is kind of boring. World first, but it is interesting because I've said for a while, hyper missiles, quantum computing, AI. A lot of people leave quantum computing out of the equation And this is like a race right now between China and America to get quantum computing online, because once you have the power of quantum computing, the AI gets insanely powerful. The missile, the technology, everything just, once we step up to quantum computing, it's a whole new world, ladies and gentlemen. World first as stable qubit for quantum computers achieved at room temperature. So here's the thing with these quantum computers that they're working on, the data, it's like in the past, there's a picture of like a 8 megabyte memory card from like the 1960s, and it's two guys pushing it on a dolly out of a truck, and it's like 6 feet tall and it's like 4 feet wide, and that's 8 megabytes of memory in like 1960s. I don't know all the numbers and stuff, but basically an old ass computer with 8 megabytes was like the size of your living room. Now we have you can get a little memory chip with 2 terabytes in it, this big, the size of your pinky nail. So the quantum computing is kind of the same situation. They can do quantum computing, but they need a computer the size of your house that generates so much heat that it's just not practical. They've got the first stable qubit for quantum computers achieved at room temperature. It was not sustainable for a long time, but it did happen. Entangled states don't need to be at freezing temperatures to survive. Researchers have been able to achieve quantum coherence at room temperature. This is the ability of a quantum system to maintain a well-defined state without being affected by external disturbances. This breakthrough is an important step forward in the development of quantum computers. It is easier to work with them if you do not have to cool them down to incredibly low temperatures. Quantum computers' fundamental universe of information is the qubit. These tend to be made of a few particles entangled in a specific state. That means that no matter the distance you put between them, any interaction with one of them affects all the particles in the state. This is extremely useful for the computation side of things, but an entangled state is also very fragile. In this work, my team achieved an entangled quintet state in electrons. They were able to craft it by using a chromophore, a dye molecule that absorbs light. Anyway, so they got a stable room temperature stabilized quantum qubit, which is a big step in the quantum computing area. Quantum computing leads to crazy strong AI, hyper missiles, satellite technologies, all this stuff ties together. So that's that. That's all the weird tech stuff. We'll keep you updated on more crazy tech news. Last but not least, in the main segment, let's see if we can tie this up in like 10 minutes. Ron DeSantis drops out of the presidential election. Ronnie is out. Closing time. Ron's gone. As he left, he decided to back Trump. From the New York Times, Ron DeSantis ends campaign for president. The Florida governor, who once appeared to be Donald Trump's most daunting challenger, ran a costly, turbulent campaign that failed to catch on with Republican votes. Yeah, because we liked you, Ron, and then you went against our boy. You should have just hold the fort down. Hold the fort down until your time, bruh. Let these other people try to go against the GOAT. You know? Bro Sanchez says Mecca is a quantum computer, uploading the consciousness of those who worship it. What? That's crazy. Huh. That's an interesting idea. I've never heard that. FMFP Spike? FMFP. I don't know what's FMFP stand for. Anyway, so DeSantis is out. You know, it's not his time this year. He should have never went against Trump. It looked bad. All the flaky little DeSantis supporters, all the flakes, all the freaking dandelions. I'm so sick of dandelions. What do I mean by dandelions? I mean when the wind blows, they just scatter to the wind. They scatter to the wind. Wherever the wind blows, that's where they go with. The Bible, it says, what's it talk about? Don't be blown to and fro with the wind or something like that. You're not supposed to get blown by the wind. Pause. You're supposed to stay solid. You're supposed to be hot or cold, not lukewarm. Pick a side. Don't be sitting on the top of the fence. Don't be a fence sitter. You can't ride two horses at one time. Take a stance. No more of this. No more of this mess. Anyway, you got to start picking a side. You need to be hot or cold, not lukewarm. What the heck was I going with this? Pause. I'll figure this stuff out with doing live timestamps. You can't. Dean, just listen to what I'm saying. I've explained it to you like 4 times now. You can't do live timestamps because even if you figure out a way to do a live timestamp, I'm not going to scroll through the whole live chat to find your timestamp. You have to put the timestamps in the comment section, not the live chat section. Don't say pause, kids. Yeah, no more fence sitting, no more being blown around with the wind, no more dandelions. Okay, I seen a lot of dandelions when DeSantis started running. I seen a lot of people say, "Well, Trump did the vaccine. Trump did this, and we don't like this. And we're gonna go with DeSantis now." And then he starts paying gays against groomers to run his campaign and to attack people on social media, just like the liberals were doing against Trump supporters in 2019. The DeSantis supporters were doing against Trump supporters this year. And now DeSantis drops out. All those people who flaked off and went with DeSantis and turned their back on Trump and they started running with DeSantis, now they're all like, "Oh, can we come back in, MAGA? Hey, MAGA, can we get back in the group? Can we be on the team again?" No, bitch. Get out of here. You little... No, I'm just kidding. You're going to be welcomed in. You're going to be welcomed in, but not with open arms. You're going to have to earn your place now. Quit being flaky. Pick a side and stick with it. Go hard. Like, I don't think my views on the world, I think my views on the world have been almost completely consistent since I was like 4 years old. I remember being a little kid in school, and if somebody had an inhaler, an asthma inhaler, I'd be like, "What's wrong with you?" "I have asthma." I'd be like, "Asthma's not real. That's you just hyperventilate," and your mom was basically there coddling you, saying, "Oh, my poor baby is hyperventilating. He needs to go to the doctor. He can't breathe." Now you got this inhaler, which is a freaking placebo to make you think it's doing something. It's not doing anything to you. Oh, it's opening your lungs. You know what else opens your lung? Take a deep breath, bruh. Slow down. Slow down your breath. Take a deep breath. That will open up your lungs too. Take a belly breath. You know? Now you're dang old Munchausen syndrome. You're a hypochondriac for the rest of your life because you think this medicine is helping you. So now you need a medicine for this and a medicine for this and medicine for this. And the mamas be doing that to people. Wait, you were never a lib? No. No, I was not political most of my life, but I still, if I understood politics when I was 12, I would have been a conservative when I was 12. I've always, because I was raised in Christian school, Christian family, my politics would have always been based off the Bible. And I've never been deluded enough to think that Jesus was a socialist. I think that's retarded. Um, so, yeah, I think if I understood politics when I was a kid, my politics would have been the same too. There's some things that I've changed my mind on, kind of like tweaked my views on. Like the death penalty is one that I'm kind of changing my mind on. Just because I don't trust our system to kill people. I think God decides who lives and who dies, and our system is corrupt. But at the same time, if you find somebody bathing in the blood of their victims and they have like 9 bodies around them and they're like drenched in the blood of the victims, yeah, just shoot that guy. Just shoot that guy. We don't need to take him to court. We don't need to go to trial. We don't need to lock him up. We don't need no death row. Just blast that dude, you know? So it's a tough one, but things like that, I've adjusted my stance over time, but I've been pretty consistent. These people dang flipping left and right. Everybody flipping all the time. Stop flipping. Hold down the fort. Trump's got this. Anyway, so DeSantis is out. What does meaning liberated mean then? Liberated? What does meaning liberated mean? What does meaning liberated mean then? I don't know. Being liberated means set free. Latina and Cali. I only use the pump at this time of the year because I do run out of breath in the mornings. My chest gets very tight and I literally can't breathe. That's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. I don't know what you're talking about, Floor, because I've known you for 12 years. You never had an inhaler. Now you use an inhaler? Do you really? I have asthma? No, that's not true. That's not true. I've known her since she was not even 20 years old. She has never had asthma. She has never had an inhaler. Now she thinks she has asthma and she needs an inhaler. Come on, Floor. Tighten up. Just take a dang breath. Yeah. Yeah, you smoked yourself into asthma. That's not asthma, Floor. That's called smoker lung. Maybe you shouldn't smoke so much. You don't have asthma. You smoked a lot. Stop smoking. Yeah. You don't have asthma. So now you're taking a medicine to help you breathe because you screwed up your ability to breathe by breathing in something you shouldn't be breathing in. So now you're breathing in another thing you shouldn't be breathing in because you breathed in stuff that you shouldn't be breathing in. That makes a lot of sense, Floor. And now you're saying you have asthma. Nope. Nope. Not raising one of my kids with that mouth. Get that out of here, mama. Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that crap. No. Read about pursed lip breathing. It helps. Yeah, do some breathing exercises. Don't swear about nonsense. I don't want to hear it. I don't even want to read that comment. I don't want to hear your justifications for your fake illness. Don't want to hear it. Anyway, Ron's out. I don't know how. I don't know. We got distracted. We're talking about being flaky. Don't be flaky. Don't turn on Trump and then try to come back once you saw that you made a stupid decision and you went with the wrong guy. You should have known that that Trump is the guy. We gotta stick together on this. We should have stayed united. Now Nikki Haley's still sticking around. I don't know why she's not out yet, taking shots at Trump. I think she's sticking around because there is a potential world where they find some way to stop Trump from running. So she wants to be that backup choice. And it worries me. Let's just say it worries me. It doesn't really worry me, but if I could get worried about something, this worries me. The environment mess your health up, Yeah, the environment of a world where you just take a medication because you smoke too many cigarettes. So now you need to smoke this medication that we give you. That's the environment that is screwed up. Is that they convinced you that that's a thing and you believed it. This is why mamas, this is how come on, this mama nature. This is mama nature. Be making the kids into little dang old hypochondriacs. I've seen it happen tons of times. All right, Republican candidate Nikki Haley has upped her attacks against GOP frontrunner Donald Trump days before the New Hampshire primary that could make or break her campaign. Haley took aim at Trump's mental acuity and friendly relations with foreign dictators. By the way, foreign dictators, reiterating criticism she has doubled down on throughout the week. By the way, I think they said Trump, this is probably a hit piece, but they said Trump was messing up a word. He was talking about climate change or global warming or something, and he stuttered and he was messing up the word. So they said he took a mental acuity test, and all the media is jumping on it. Of course, all the liberal media jumps on it. Hold on, let me try to find the article. Mental acuity test, Trump. A whale of a tale. Trump continues to distort cognitive tests 3 days ago. Trump says he aced recent cognitive exam. So he had a cognitive exam recently because, and one of the articles I read said that he was messing up when he was speaking So he took a cognitive test. He says he aced it. Trump details different difficult cognitive tests that he aced. But anyway, the point is Trump messed up one word. Floor, stop trying to justify your lies. Nobody believes that you have asthma, and nobody's gonna be like, oh, maybe she does. Nope, it's not gonna happen here. You don't have to keep explaining it. We understand. You're being very weak. You need to stop it. Nope, not gonna read your comment. I don't want to hear about the climate change. I don't want to hear about the smoking. I don't want to hear about none of it. Cut it out. Asthma's not real. That inhaler is stupid. All right. What was I saying? Okay, cognitive test. My point is, Trump messed up one dang word in a speech. And people are like, oh, you need to take a cognitive exam. So he takes the cognitive exam, and I aced it. It was a tough exam, but I aced it. They say I did better than anyone's ever done on such an exam. But meanwhile, I mess up one word. I take the test. I ace the test. Meanwhile, Joe Biden over here pooping himself on stage. Can't say 5 sentences unless he's drugged up. Never met a flight of stairs that wasn't his worst enemy. He's just walking around the stage. Joe, the stairs are over there, Joe. He can't even find the stairs. Has he taken a cognitive exam? Nope. Yep. No cognitive exam from Joe. How come Joe's not taking a cognitive exam? People get tired. Anybody wants to beat my IQ? I think it was between 12 and 17. What? I couldn't vote for Haley ever. Yeah, I'm thinking Haley's sticking around because there's a world where Trump gets taken out of the running. You know what I mean? I gotta be careful on YouTube. Trump might get taken out of the running, if you know what I mean. In one way or another, whether they somehow figure out a way to, I don't know, 14th Amendment Insurrection Act or something, they find a way to put him in prison, or they three name him. They three name assassin him. They John Wilkes Booth. They Lee Harvey Oswald is there. If something like that happened, and Nikki Haley is our backup choice, I might not. I would probably not even vote. My choices are Nikki Haley. I'm writing my name in. I'm writing Trump's name in. I'll just write Trump's name in. You know what? Yeah. Regardless of who's on the ballot, I'm writing Trump in. So, debate between Trump and Biden. Debate between Trump and Biden would just be it would be like watching a demolition derby. It's not even. Haley took aim at Trump's mental acuity. Outwardly attacking Trump is a shift for Haley, who throughout her campaign so far has gone softer on Trump, focused on edging out Ron DeSantis for second place. Nimrata. She also did a video where she was talking about how tough it was growing up as a colored girl. Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know that Nimrata Haley is Indian and that she's whiteified herself? I don't know if she got her skin bleached like Michael Jackson did, but she says it was very tough growing up as a colored girl. This person right here. This person right here said it was very tough growing up as a colored girl. Nimrata Haley. Her name's not Nikki. In case you didn't know, she's Indian. Her name is not Nikki Haley. Her name is Nimrata Haley. And she grew up as a colored girl. Now, I think when she got rich and started doing her $1 million speeches after working with the UN, she got her skin bleached or something. I don't have any sources for that. That's just a guess because she's not a colored girl anymore. She got Michael Jackson. They Michael Jacksoned old Nimrata up. They gave her a new name, whiteified her a little bit, straightened the hair out a little bit, get some of the sand out of the cheeks, you know. Had to fix that. Oh, welcome. Thank you for your time. Had to fix her accent up a little bit. Taught her some proper English. And she became Nikki Haley, and now she's running for president. She's a person of color. Yeah. Haley's staying to get Trump haters to vote for Biden. Haley is staying to get Trump haters to vote for Biden. Huh. That could be. I still think the only reason she's still in the running is she's hoping, or not even hoping, she knows the plan. If she may know the plan, and she may know something might be happening, and she wants to stick in to get that second place lined up. So let's say closing time to old Ronnie here. Let's listen to Ron's goodbye speech. And then I meant to play this. This is old. This is from when Trump won the Iowa caucus. It's 22 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I was going to play it in a stream, but I haven't done any gaming streams lately. But this Iowa caucus victory speech from Trump is amazing. You should go check it out. I'm not going to play it. Let's play a little bit of Trump's goodbye speech. Looks like DeSantis's goodbye speech. It looks like he's crying. It looks like he's crying right here.
The warmth of being home is a reminder why I've chosen public service, from joining the United States Navy and serving in Iraq to representing the people in the U.S. Congress.
Thank you.
And now serving as governor of Florida. And it reminds me why I decided to run for president, to fight for those who've been forgotten in this country. This is America's time for choosing. We can choose to allow a border invasion, or we can choose to stop it. We can choose reckless borrowing and spending, or we can choose to limit government and lower inflation. We can choose political indoctrination, or we can choose classical education. These choices are symptoms of the underlying struggle to ensure that constitutional government can endure and that Western civilization can survive. And we launched this campaign to bring accountability to government, regain sovereignty at our border, and restore sanity to our society. We cannot succeed as a country if we allow our nation to be invaded, our currency to be debased, our cities to crumble, and our kids to be indoctrinated. The DC elites who facilitated this mess do not care about you, and they do not work for you. They work for themselves. They seek to accumulate power at your expense to pursue an agenda that is harmful to the American people. Citizens do not serve politicians. It is the duty of politicians to serve you. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. Reversing the decline of this nation requires leadership that delivers big results for the people we are elected to serve. I have a record of leading with conviction, championing an agenda marked by bold colors, delivering on my promises. And
he is a great governor. I'm not going to lie. He's a great governor. And I don't hate the guy. We roasted him. He took his shots. You know, he took his shots at Trump. Trump took shots at him. And I remember when Trump first called him DeSanctimonious, I remember Trump supporters were like, oh, why is he, especially women Trump supporters, why is he doing that? He's dividing the party. He's being mean. Bitch, it's a competition. It's a competition. You're not going to be hugging and shaking. You're in competition time. We fighting. We're going head to head, and then afterwards we'll shake hands. And that's what happened. And that's what men do, and that's what happens in every election. So it's not like Freddie's acting like the women. He's saying, why would DeSantis drop out and then support Trump? Because that's what they do. That's how it happens in every election. That's what happens in a competition. Your enemies, when you step up face to face, you're head to head with your opponent, and you're not playing nice with your opponent. After the game's over, you shake the hand. You shake their hand. And you say, hey, good game, man. Good game. I lost. You won. Good game. And then you get their back because now they're the leader. That's what happened. It annoyed me so much that these Trump-supporting conservative women, no such thing, were saying, why is he being mean? Why is he being mean to DeSantis? Sometimes he's just too mean. Cut it out. Anyway, so that's why DeSantis flipped and is supporting Trump now, because it's the smart thing to do, and that's what happens in competition. GG, good game. He said, good game, Trump. I got your back now. Let's do this. And he could be trying to get that VP spot. I think he'd make a great VP. I don't want him as VP because I want him to stay in Florida until Florida finds a good replacement, and then he can become president in 4 years. Let's run that. That could save America. We get Trump and Tucker in there for 4 years, and then we get DeSantis and somebody else for 8 years. We could save America with that. And Israel. We are going to also be saving, if that happens, we're going to save America and Israel at the same time.
Feeding the people who are responsible for our nation's decline.
What's up,
That
baby?
is the type of leadership we need for all of America. Now, over the past many months, Casey and I have traveled across the country to deliver a message of hope that decline is a choice and that we can, in fact, succeed again as a
Biden and Harris want each other? Ew. That's a horrible visual. Get out of my brain!
nation. Nobody worked harder, and we left it all out on the field. Now, following our second place finish in Iowa, we've prayed and deliberated on the way forward. If there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign. I'm proud to have delivered on 100% of my promises, and I will not stop now.
Well,
it's clear to me that a majority of Republican primary voters want to give Donald.
It's easy to deliver on your. He made promises of what he would do as president, and he lost at becoming president. So, how did you deliver on your promises? And didn't he say he said, my last name is pronounced winner, which is something Trump would say. They were talking about how he switched from DeSantis to DeSantis. He kept switching how his name was pronounced. And then he said, don't worry. He said, my last name is pronounced winner. And I kind of liked that, but you didn't deliver on that promise. So
Donald Trump another chance. They watch his presidency get stymied by relentless resistance, and they see Democrats using lawfare this day to attack him. Well, I've had disagreements with Donald Trump, such as on the coronavirus pandemic and his elevation of Anthony Fauci. Trump is superior to the current incumbent, Joe Biden. That is clear.
Ron, you put out fake AI images of him hugging Fauci and stuff. That never happened, Ron. Just so you know. You put out fake AI hit piece campaign images. That never happened.
I signed a pledge to support the Republican nominee, and I will honor that pledge. He has my endorsement because we can't go back to the old Republican guard of yesteryear, a repackaged form of warmed-over corporatism that Nikki Haley represents. The days of putting Americans last, of kowtowing to large corporations, of caving to woke ideology are over. I thank all of our passionate supporters who stood by us through it all. That we had people volunteer to come to Iowa in the middle of a blizzard to knock on doors and make phone calls touched us dearly. No candidate had more thrown at him, but no candidate had so many committed volunteers and staff.
Save everybody and
Finally, I want to thank my wife, Casey, and our kids, Madison, Mason, and Mamie. Casey's gone far above and beyond in her support for our...
All right. We don't need to hear about your wife, bro. Okay. So, yeah, we're not going to play this now. I don't know. Maybe I want to play this while I take a break. No, we're not going to take a break yet. But that's it for all of the main story. News! And now, it's the meme time! Meme review! We only have 12 memes. I only have 12 memes today. Not a lot of memes. Because the show's got to be quick. We only have an hour and 15 minutes left. Sushi. Sushi. You guys ever had sushi? Bum, 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 bum. You guys ever had sushi? Nice. Get you some sushi. That does look good, though. I would eat that. Looks delicious. Sushi. Next. There are 3 meanings for this sign. It says crocodiles do not swim here. There are 3 meanings for this sign. There are crocodiles here, so do not swim. Meaning crocodiles do not swim here. right? There are crocodiles here. Don't swim here. Or number 2, it's telling the crocodiles, do not swim here. Hey, crocodiles, do not swim here. Crocodiles, do not swim here. It's telling the crocodiles who are reading the sign not to swim there, okay? Or, oh, wait, that's the, wait. That's the third one. Hey, you crocodiles, don't swim here. Or the crocodiles don't swim here. Crocodiles do not swim here. Crocodiles do not swim here. Crocodiles do not swim here. Yeah. Yep. It's either telling the person don't swim here because there's crocodiles here, or it's telling the person there's no crocodiles here, so it's okay to swim here, or it's telling the crocodiles do not swim here. That's a meme. Okay, next. Not a great meme. Anybody laughing? No, nobody's laughing? Okay. Show the evaporated milk one again. I don't know what that is. Okay, crickets, stop it. Next. Who had Nephilim in Miami for the first week of January? This is an old meme that I had got a couple weeks ago, but I didn't do memes last week. But yeah, we had the Nephilim in the Miami for the first week of January. Then we had reptilian tunnels in New York for the second week of January. Now, the third week of January, space lasers, solar-powered space lasers go online. So what's going to happen next week? Take a, what do you guys got? What's the betting pool saying? What's the betting pool saying? Also, what about, I think week 4 is going to be giant flood, because you know how we had this snow front come through America? Well, now all the snow is melting because it's over and the sun's out. Now all the snow is melting, so I have a weather report coming up for you guys. Flood warnings across all of America. So giant flood, Noah's Ark, week 4 of January. We'll see. Next. Opposite words. This one took me a minute to figure out. Opposite words. Always, the opposite of always is never. Coming, the opposite of coming is going. The opposite of from is to. The opposite of take is give. The opposite of me is you. And the opposite of down is up. So let's try to put this together. Never going to give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna take my time and desert you. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna. Y'all just got rickrolled in this piece. Let's go. You got rickrolled. Can I get you on my panel tonight? I'm going to work as soon as I finish the show. I'm doing the show until 8 o'clock, and I have to be at work at 10 o'clock. So, if you start your panel like last time, remember when I jumped in for like 20 minutes? I might be able to do that again, but I'm not going to make any promises to you, Latina. So if you start your stream up as soon as I end my stream, I gotta walk the dog, get some dinner, blah blah blah. If I have time before I run off to work, I might jump in for 10-20 minutes, but I can't guarantee it. Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down. Y'all just got rickrolled in this piece. Okay, next. Oh, this is not supposed to be in here. This is what I get for free. This is what we get for free. And I'm pretty sure that Freddie and Zeke get this little set right here for a spectator pass. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure that just for getting a spectator pass, which is free, you get this stuff right here. And just so you know, this little free giveaway, if you sign up, but I don't know if they get it for a spectator pass. I hope they get it for a spectator pass, because these cards are going to be worth $100 each. So this is this is what this is just for showing up at the thing that I'm going to. I don't know. This isn't supposed to be in here anyway. Will Smith Smith. Will Smith Smith. Will Smith has a skateboard. Will Smith.
Beta!
Will Smith Smith. Will Smith. Will Smith Smith. Will Smith. What the?
Beta!
Will Smith Smith. Will Smith. Nice. I like that. Will Smith Smith. Will Smith. Drum roll, please. My wife loves that song. The Rickroll song. Nice. All right, next. Don't claim to be a football fan if you don't know who this is. Y'all know who this is? Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Finkel is a man. That's Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
It's a man, baby! Beta!
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn and Finkel. Finkel is a man. And bro, at the end of the movie where he tells everybody, he tells all the cops, all the detectives, the SWAT team, everybody starts throwing up. He says, "Say hello to big old Mr. Knish." And he pulls the skirt off, and there's a nice little nice little pause. There's a package there on Finkel, and all the cops in the whole place start throwing up. Finkel been making out with everybody. What's up, Robbie? Okay, next. It's so cold, this used to be a full-size screwdriver. Uh-oh. Guys, y'all know about that.
Beta!
Y'all know about that when it gets cold outside? Sorry, ladies. Sorry, ladies. This used to be a full-size screwdriver, but it's really cold outside. Okay. Next. Having a bad day? Remember, it could always be way worse. Whoa! No! Look at this elephant just blasted. There's a... Okay. That's gross. That's gross. That's poop. That's called poop humor. Poop humor. Okay, next. Sliced bread was invented in 1928. People in 1927. Nice. That's a sandwich. That is a sandwich. Ladies, make me a sandwich. That is a sandwich. I was in the pool. I was in the pool. Okay, next. It's cold because it's hot. Greta Thunberg. Global warming. It's cold because it's hot. Guys, it's cold because it's hot. It's cold because it's hot. It's cold because it's hot, guys.
Beta!
Next. Don't start with me, Karen. It was thundering and lightning, and I thought I was gonna die. The dog is drunk. The dog ate all the PBR, drank all the PBRs because it was thundering and lightning. The dog thought it was gonna die. If Echo starts freaking out because of thunder and lightning, I call him
Beta!
And I say, you need to tighten up, Echo, because in the apocalypse, we don't have time to be messing around. We don't have time to be shaking because of a loud boom, right? That's how we end up dead. All right. If there's a catastrophe, Echo is going to be my dinner because he's scared of loud noises. How's life? How's the family? Seesaw Trump? What the? Trump Seesaw 2024? Yeah, I don't know about all that. You really got to hand it to short people, mainly because they can't reach it. Okay. Okay, that's all right, I guess. That's all right, I guess. No? Crickets? Drum roll? Cash register? Okay, next. When you go to play with her kitty with ice cold hands. Okay. Enough of that. Don't play with the kitty with ice cold hands. Next. A man tried to rob a bank after paying $500 to a wizard to make him invisible. It did not work. Failed. It failed. Next. Build back better. Something went wrong. Please try again. Tap to retry. Oh. Build back better, leading to the destruction of the world. Okay, next. Somewhere, somebody out there is thinking of you and the tremendous impact you made on their life. It's not me. I think you're an idiot. Beta! It's not me. I think you're an idiot. What the? Family is well. Prayers to yours. What's up, Robbie? That cat looks like a wolf from Neverending Story. The wolf from Neverending Story. Oh, I was thinking of Falcor. You're not talking about Falcor. You're talking about the black wolf. Yeah. Falcor is white. White dragon dog. That's what I said. Echo is going to play Falcor. Echo is going to play Falcor in Disney's remake of Neverending Story because they like to put black actors in the place of the white actors. So Echo is going to take Falcor's place. He's also not a dragon, but it's diversity and equity and inclusion. You know, he's a black dog. He can play a white dragon. Right? In Disney. That's how Disney does it. All right. And that's it for the memes. Transformer Sal. You've been trying to push my buttons, but I'll be the bigger man. Oh, God. Transformer. See Sal.
It's a man, baby.
Seesaw's gonna walk up to Bibby and be like, hey, guess what?
Beta.
You a beta. Get pictures. Get pictures of it when it happens. Bleached blonde blats. Remember you carrying that baby. She's probably walking. All right. Enough memes. Let me pull up the reels and the rapid fire. because the ontological stuff, we have an hour to go, and the ontological stuff is going to take at least 45 minutes. So let's get through all this quick. There's some funny reels, and then we'll check out this rapid fire news. All right, 1 second. This is pretty funny. All right, we got to start it from the beginning. Check this out. This is a short one. Watch. Okay, so this old lady, watch the old lady standing here, and there's a dog on a leash coming by. One more time, because they cut it off so quick, but... She's about to go down. She's going face first. I heard the way they do that is that their shoes have, in the heel of their shoes, feet pics. Welcome to Only Feet. This is my foot, by the way. Yes, I'm a very flexible guy. Their heels have a slot cut into the heels, and that there's like little nails in the floor, and so they slide their heel into the nails, and then that way they can lean forward like that. Did you guys know that? That's what I heard. Y'all need to pay extra for them dang Only Feet. Also, by the way, since I haven't done it yet, we have to shill. We have to do some shilling. I need money. Give me money, guys. I'm going on a trip to California. I'm almost broke. I am going to get some money for the trip, though, so I won't be totally broke. But if y'all want to help out, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're telling, if you like it, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell everybody. Make sure you're getting the word out there, sharing it out to some groups that you're in, sharing it out to some friend message boards, whatever. Share it out. Share it out. That's all the stuff you could do for free to help out the channel. Also, the timestamp thing. If you're ever watching in the future and you're not in the live stream, you can always drop timestamps of interesting things that you want me to clip. And I've seen Jeff Hewitt's did it. Somebody else did it. People have been dropping timestamps, and I appreciate it. I haven't got to making any shorts yet, but it's when I do, it'll be easier if you guys do the timestamps. So that's all stuff you could do for free to help support the channel. I try to put effort into the shows. I try to make a show plan. I try to do my research, gather sources, collect information, so I put a lot of effort into this. If you want to help out monetarily, you could do a super chat. You could do a membership to the YouTube channel. The memberships are cool. You get the emojis, you get the badges, you get the green name. You can do gifted memberships. Memberships are cool. Super chats are cool. But what's the best thing you could do, especially right now, if you want to help me out, if you want to help out the channel, hit the Cashapp up. Where are my arms at? Everything's backwards. Hit the Cashapp up. Cashapp, $ Dreadedconservative, or Venmo at jsurbanadventures, PayPal at jsurbanadventures, Cashapp at $Dreadedconservative. You want to do a little financial donation for the trip, I would appreciate it. You can send a couple bucks and I can buy me and Freddie some McDonald's, Zeke some McDonald's. I don't know. California McDonald's meal for 3 people is probably going to be like $50. So I think the California McDonald's are crazy expensive. So, but yeah, that's what we need. We need some money. We need some money for the trip. So Cash App, $ Dreadedconservative. That's the best way. Right there. Right there. But yeah, I'm leaving Thursday, so we might do a stream Wednesday because I don't work Wednesday. We might do a little short stream before I pack up the computer on Wednesday. It just depends on if I get everything else ready. I got to make sure the house is cleaned. I got to talk to the neighbors, make sure I give them a piece of paper with the code for my door. I need to leave the leash with them, tell them where the food's at because they're going to be taking care of Echo while I'm gone. I want my $2. And then, so if I get packed and I get the apartment cleaned up and I get everything taken care of with Echo, if I have free time on Wednesday night, we can stream Wednesday night because I'm took off on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I'm riding Spirit Airlines on the way there and Delta Airlines on the way back, which are the 2 most affirmative action deadly airlines, apparently. So pray for me. That's another thing you could do. If you can't send any money, you could pray that I don't get a damn affirmative action pilot on either one of these flights because I'm really kind of nervous. I don't like flying as it is. I don't think we're supposed to be in these giant multiple ton tubes of metal in the sky controlled with rocket propulsion. It's just like, it's not my thing. It's not my thing. Okay. I'd rather just walk, but, yeah, I'm a little I don't like flying a whole lot. I'm not scared of flying, but I'm a little nervous when we have Pete Buttigieg as our transportation guy and we have affirmative action pilots being hired in equity and diversity and inclusion, hiring air traffic controllers and pilots. Not good. Not a good time to be flying on planes. But so you could just pray for me that my pilot isn't named like Chiquita Banana or something. She like crashes us. Don't watch Final Destination. I know. Let's pray. Just pray for me that California is not my final destination. All right, back to the reels and rapid fire. Enough shilling. Hey, Matthew. Matthew sent me $5 the other day. Shout out, Matthew. Gracias, Matthew. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right. Let's listen to the Chick-fil-A rap. You guys ever heard the Chick-fil-A rap?
How can I help you today? Welcome to heaven. Ooh, yeah, I mean Chick-fil-A. Roll up to your table, smiling like a fool.
God,
sorry if I'm awkward. I was homeschooled. Hey, you don't have to bow your head. Nah, you don't have to pray for your food. Nah, had a Bible study in the back. We already pray for you. Pre-blessed. It is my pleasure.
Pre-blessed. Had a Bible study in the back. We already prayed for you. Let's go. Do they be having Bible studies at Chick-fil-A? I want to work at Chick-fil-A.
To serve you. Hey. It is my pleasure to serve you. Hey. We're serving the chicken the Lord's way, unless it's a Sunday. My pleasure to serve you. It is my pleasure to serve you. Hey. It is my pleasure to serve you. Hey. We're serving the chicken the Lord's way, unless it's a Sunday. My pleasure to serve you. Would you like perfectly crafted and drafted Polynesian sauce? Dipping and dabbing, using your napkin. You know they extra soft. It is my pleasure to serve you. Hey. It is my pleasure to serve you. Hey. We're serving the chicken the Lord's way, unless it's a Sunday. My pleasure to serve you.
Okay. Enough of that. Is it over yet? Yeah, enough of that. Chick-fil-A rap. Let's go. Mac Lethal Pancakes is better rap. I need to hear Hake rap this. Okay. Stop showing me this. Get out of here. Close that. Y'all aren't supposed to see that. It's okay. You can't really see anything, but. Whoa! Okay, this is not the video I saved. This is not what I meant to be in here, but that was crazy. What the heck? Oh, I hate that. So close. So close. That's not what was meant to be in here. I don't know where that video came from. I had another video, but anyway. Oh, this one's wild too. Look. Okay. Now, I'll explain what this is called afterwards, but check this out. Damn, that's freaky in a mug. Did you see that? You see that? Look at this storm. Look at this storm cloud looking like the Grim Reaper demon in the sky. Damn, that's wild.
Holy fucking shit, guys.
One more time. Watch. You see that? Now, I wonder... Now, because I'm a reasonable person, I'm not a crazy person. Two things that I'll say. One, if he's looking through a glass, that could be like a shadow from behind him or something. If he's not looking through a glass, then what that is rain falling through clouds and, and then the light hitting it. It's not a big deal. It looks crazy. It looks freaky. It's not a big deal. Another thing I'll say, it's called pareidolia. Pareidolia, and it's a like a mental disability, or like a pareidolia is where you see faces or you see things in things. So when you see faces in clouds, or when you see faces on surfaces of planets, or when people see faces in everything, and they're always seeing patterns, and like remember, I think we talked about there was like an oil stain that looked like Mary, the Virgin Mary. People were coming from all over the world to pray at this oil stain because it looked like the face of Mary. That's called pareidolia, and that's a sign of insanity, okay? If you're seeing faces and shapes and everything, that's a sign that you're crazy. You should probably get checked out because it's not there. This is not actually a demon or a ghost or a monster. If you think it is, then you need to chill out. Cool. Now, granted, that's not pareidolia, because that actually I don't think there was anything crazy there. I don't think there's a giant giant 500-foot Grim Reaper walking through the thing. I think it just looks cool, and it does look crazy. But I think that's all pretty explainable with natural stuff.
Holy fucking shit, guys.
But that was pretty crazy, though. Okay, next. I don't know why it always opens this window up. Hold on one second. That's how much we have in common. Hey, that's how much we have in common. We are not alike, not like a son of Mike. You say you run with the murderers and killers, the people you run with the thugging, but you just don't want to be gonna, like you was gonna do something. Oh, it's not working. What the heck? Hold on, guys. I'm trying to fix this. Godzilla! Godzilla! Like a people who see a face or image in next to the moon. Yeah, that's called pareidolia. I saw one, it was like a Christian one, and it was like a cloud. It was a cloud, and it looked like God with like a finger, or it looked like a man with like a finger in front of his lips, or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was a giant. They're like, this is the face of God over the earth, ready to judge us. And all these Christians are in the what the heck? All these Christians are in the comment section. Yes, praise God, praise Jesus. He's ever watching us from the clouds. That's the face of God. Blah blah blah. I'm like, y'all are insane. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are whacked out of your mind, giving Christians a bad name. Which is the same thing flat Earth was invented for, was to make Christians look stupid. But anyway, anyway, Christians are a gullible bunch, so it's easy to mislead them. I don't know what this is. This is not. There's 2 videos in here that I did not save. What the heck? What is this? Whoa! Wait. Okay, I don't know what the heck this is. This is not what I saved. I did not save that video. I don't know how that got here. I don't know what's going on. It's not playing the. Oh, here we go. Oh, this one's funny. It's not playing the right videos, but this is the right video.
Did you just call me a what?
One more time.
What'd you say? Did you just call me a what?
Look at this little baby.
What'd you say? Did you just call me a what?
One more time.
What'd you say?
Listen to the baby.
Did you just call me a what?
That baby's awesome. You're gonna eat crow one of these days? What's the crow? The Earth is only 6,000 years old. It's not a pancake, but yet. I don't know. I don't think the Earth is 6,000 years old, but I think that it's closer. I think the young Earth creationist people are closer than the evolution scientists that say 63 billion years old. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think it's probably like maybe 100 million, not even 100. I don't know. But all that can be justified using the Bible. Like the Bible's not a science book. I can use the Bible and say that the Earth is 1 billion years old or 6,000 years old. But yeah, I don't think it's no 68 billion years or whatever new number they make up every week. But I also think it's older than 6,000 years. Yeah, it ain't billions. It ain't billions. Maybe 1 million, maybe 100,000. More than 6,000, less than 1 billion. That's what I'll say. Pretty safe guess. The N word. This baby's sick.
What'd you say?
One more time.
Did you just call me a what? What'd you say?
That baby funny. Okay. Rapid fire news. We got local news. I tell you about how the Democrat women mayors. Whoa, what is this ad on the side? I don't want to see your belly. That's gross. Art Lake City. Why Salt Lake is turning to more art as it grows. You know, I told you guys that the Democrat women, Marxist mayors, when they get into these cities, the homeless problem gets worse, the drugs get worse, the violence gets worse, the crime gets worse, the littering gets worse. But you're always going to get some new art installments. This is what these women Democrat mayors do. They'll invest all the money into green energy, parks and recreation, and art installments. And KSL.com is supporting my theory. Art Lake City. Why Salt Lake City is turning to more art as it grows. Because we have a communist mayor, and she's a woman. So they think that by putting art installments, you're going to get, and usually it's ugly, crappy art. It's not well. Remember, like the two hands, the arms that was about racial justice or whatever, but it looked like a dang schlong going in a rear end. Remember that? Remember that art installment in a Democrat city? And they'll commission these like diversity hire artists who like suck at their job. Look, this is the giant whale. This thing is huge and it's right a couple blocks away from me. Look, my apartment is right over here. But anyway, this giant whale is uglier than a mug. A whale sculpture is displayed on the 9th and 9th area. We've talked about the whale before. We were in a drought and then they built this whale and we had a great year of rain. So now people like worship this whale because they think it's a rain bringer to Salt Lake. But it's freaking hideous. It's a hideous piece of art. I wouldn't call it art at all. It looks dumb. Anyway, 130 public permanent artworks. So yeah. Anyway, the point is Democrat women are going to put a lot of your city's funds into art installments like this. That's just what they do. I'm not going to read all these. I think a lot of these projects, when they're done well, people are compelled to them. They want to be present in these buildings and places. They want to linger. Anyway, art installments in Utah, in Salt Lake City. Common thing in Democrat cities. Another local news story. Utah residents suing state over soon to be enacted social media restrictions. So Utah, I've told y'all, Utah is the closest thing to a theocracy, and I like it. I like the fact that we banned porn in Utah. I like that. I think that's great. If you come to Utah and you try to get on any of the major porn sites, you're not going to be able to unless you do some VPN, backdoor action. You're not going to be able to, Chris W. What's up, Chris W? Evening, everyone, just tuning in. Hey, we're doing the rapid fire news. So Utah is doing a social media restriction thing where young kids under a certain age can't get on social media. And this kid is like suing the state saying Civil Liberties Group has filed a lawsuit against Utah's social media regulations. But it's not just this. Porn is banned in Utah. Gambling is banned in Utah. You can't even get on DraftKings. I tried to get on DraftKings so I could bet on some of the fights. You can't get on DraftKings. You can't do online gambling. You can't watch porn. And kids under a certain age will not be allowed to go on social media after a certain point. And then there's one other thing we did that was based. I forget what it is. But Salt Lake City is a Marxist-ran Democrat cesspool, of course. But the rest of the state of Utah is pretty based. So we passed the Social Media Regulation Act through a pair of Utah bills in 2023 requires that minors get consent from a parent or guardian in order to sign up for social media account, in effect requiring all users in the state to verify their age. It also requires social media companies to treat minor accounts differently than adult accounts by limiting who can see them in search results, disabling direct messaging with certain accounts, and creating an overnight curfew when minors cannot access their accounts. I think this is based, but this Utah Civil Liberties Group and one of these kids at the forefront, Hannah Paisley Zulek, a high school student, are testifying saying that it goes against freedom of speech laws. You're a juvenile. Do you get rights as a juvenile? Like, you don't have gun rights as a juvenile. You don't have. I'm so sorry. Where's your mouth at? Was your mouth out, Matt? What does that mean? Is that Dumb and Dumber? Who said Dumb and Dumber stuff? Flat Sabbath is a fake name. Spike, y'all cold down there too? We're warming up here. Speaking of that, check this out. Here's what I was just talking about. Enough local news. Y'all don't care about that. But yeah, Utah's based. We're not letting kids on the internet. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll kick the women off the internet as well. Southern heavy rain could produce flooding while also bringing drought help. Basically, the snowstorm blew in. Crazy snowstorm blows in across America. Now all the snow is melting. It's warming up rapidly, and all the snow is melting. So now we have major flood warnings. So get your Noah's Ark ready. Get your Ark ready, because we're about to have flooding. Let's see what the weather's talking about. Oh, they're going to show me an ad. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see your ad. Get out of here. So anyway, flood threat rising. Rapid fire news. Let's get over it. Texas has until the end of today to stop blocking federal access to miles of the U.S.-Mexico border. Somebody was talking about this in a stream with me, that Texas has said, we're shutting down the border. We're going against the federal guidelines, and we're shutting down the border because these feds, under order from Biden, have been cutting the fences, building ramps over the barbed wire fences, and just letting the illegal immigrants flood across the border instead of stopping them on order federally. And Texas said, no more of that. We're sending our people down there, and we're going to stop that. And now Biden is threatening Texas. Texas has until the end of the day today, and this is from the 17th. So to stop blocking federal access to miles of the U.S.-Mexico border. I don't know what the update is. Biden administration has given Texas until the end of Wednesday to stop blocking the U.S. Borders Patrol access to 2.5 miles along the U.S.-Mexico border that includes the area where a woman and 2 children drowned, after state authorities last week barred federal agents from the zone, according to a Department of Homeland Security later exclusively obtained by CNN. So yeah, so Texas saying, we're done with this. We've had enough of this crap. No more. And Biden threatening him. I don't know what the results of this was, because we're not looking too deep into the immigration crisis this week. We've talked a lot about that in the past, so we're going to skip that in this show. Last story. Hunter Biden update. Hunter Biden update.
Beta.
Hunter Biden update. Oh, Hunter, special counsel responds to Hunter Biden's motions to dismiss the gun charges. And then they disclosed that cocaine residue was found on his gun pouch. The guy's doing cocaine like off of his gun with a hooker in the corner. Oh, man. Usually the cocaine is on the hooker's butt cheeks, but this time he put it on his gun. Let's see what they're talking about here.
Give a deposition just 2 days after his surprise appearance on Capitol Hill that critics labeled a publicity stunt. The president's son sat in a congressional hearing room for about 30 minutes as House Republicans recommended he be held in contempt for defying their subpoena. Biden's lead attorney, Abby Lowell, wrote in a letter to Republican Chairman James Comer and Jim Jordan, quote, if you issue a new proper subpoena, now that there is a duly authorized impeachment inquiry, Mr. Biden will comply for
Texas
a hearing or deposition. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney Joseph Tully. So, Joseph, based on your review of the records,
so flurry of legal filings, unconstitutional charges, court documents. Federal prosecutors argued that the gun charges facing the president's son were not part of politicized and selective and vindictive prosecution, including Hunter Biden's own words, beautiful in his memoir, beautiful things. I wonder how much he made off that. Recovered text messages and the presence of cocaine residue on a leather firearm pouch demonstrated he had unlawfully possessed a firearm during a period when he struggled with drug addiction. So, yeah, you think they're just going to let him off for all this stuff? I think that's probably the most likely most likely thing that's going to happen is he's just going to get off for all that stuff. But that's it for all the rapid fire news. That's it for all the news for the day. All the news. The news is over. Now let's move on to a little bit of philosophy. But first, I'm going to take a restroom break. Let me play this. We'll just play this speech from Trump while I go take a quick break.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars?
Shut up, Dana from StreamYards.
A good time together. We're all
right, you guys can listen to this.
Together.
I will be right back.
And I think they both actually did very well.
This is Trump's Iowa caucus victory speech, and it's a great speech. 20 minutes long. We won't watch the whole thing, but listen to this while I go take a break real quick. I'll be right back.
Well, I really do. I think they both did very well. We don't even know what the outcome of second place is. And I see Carrie Lake. Congratulations, Carrie. Very good. I spotted her, I have to announce, because she's terrific. She's going to be a senator, a great senator, I predict, right? You're going to be a great senator. And I also want to congratulate Vivek, because he did a hell of a job. He came from 0, and he's got a big percent, probably 8%, almost 8%, and that's an amazing job. They all did. They're all very smart people, very capable people. I think most importantly, I want to thank my incredible wife, First Lady, I'll say former and maybe future. But more important than Melania, I want to thank her incredible, beautiful mother who passed away a few days ago. And she's up there, way up there. She's looking down, and she's so proud of us. And I just want to say to Amalia, you are special, one of the most special people I've ever known. And that was a tough period of time for the family, but she's amazing. She was amazing. So I just want to thank what she's done for our family, and her husband, who's home right now and very lonely.
Great speech, great speech. Go watch it for yourself. I can't play the whole thing right now because we got to get through this show. Let's see if I can bust out this ontological argument in 30 minutes. Let me open my... It's going to be tough. So remember, I've given you the Kalam cosmological argument for God, which is a cosmological argument. It's for the people that are into space, astronomy, and learning about the origins of planets and the universe and stuff. You would use the Kalam cosmological argument for God's existence with them. Then we had the moral argument for God's existence last week, which is more of a feelings-based, emotions-based argument. Basically, the idea is people just can't seem to get it right. That this tribe or this group of people may say that this thing is okay, and then these people say it's not okay. How do we come up with objective morals? There has to be an objective lawgiver, which is God. That's how we get our moral argument for God, since objectives are, if we can agree that objectives are, or morals are objective, there has to be an objective lawgiver. That's God. Now we're going to go with a logical argument. This is the ontological argument for God's existence. There's lots of different ones, and this I could actually spend probably an hour on each one of these. We're going to try to combine all of them into 30 minutes. So just know this is a very brief synopsis of a very complex, complicated philosophical thing. The ontological argument for God's existence is using rationality and reason and logic, nothing else. You don't need observations. You don't need science. You don't need math. You don't need emotions. This is simply a logical and rational explanation for God's existence. Ontology is the study of being. So an ontological argument is a logical argument based off of the study of being and existence. So what it comes down to, we'll start. There's multiple ones. There's Anselm's ontological argument, there's Descartes' ontological argument, and there's the modal ontological argument. So I'm going to try to give you a breakdown of the modal one real quick, try to explain it the best I can without any articles, and then we'll read through some of these articles and watch some of these little videos and stuff. We have cartoons, we have all the good stuff. First, let me show you. So, definition from Google: ontological, relating to the branch of metaphysics dealing with the nature of being, or it's showing the relationships between the concepts and categories in a subject area or domain. And there's some images here. Ontology. Okay, this stuff we'll get to later. So there's the definition. Let me just give you a brief. Let me read this. This is a brief Cedarville University. What is the ontological argument? So I'll read this to you. Then we'll watch a video. And then we'll talk about the different ones. There's Anselm's, there's Descartes, and then there's the modal ontological argument. And these things get kind of confusing, but there are many arguments for the existence of God. Perhaps one of the most famous and most often misunderstood, this is the most confusing one, is the ontological argument. Dr. J.R. Gilhooly, assistant professor of theology at Cedarville University, explains the argument in the video below. Unlike most arguments that start with an observation about the world and work back to a creator, the ontological argument starts with the idea that based on the meaning of the word God, there has to be a God. There are many ways to make this argument, but the simplest way is this. If it's possible that God exists, then God exists. As Christians, we should know and understand that there are good, sound arguments for God's existence and be prepared to explain them to our skeptical friends. So, this is the premise. If God is possible, if it's possible that God exists, then God exists. So let me try to break down the one that I understand the most, which is the modal ontological argument. Modal, what we're talking about with modal is the idea that there's infinite possible worlds. A possible world is a world that could have been. It's not the real world. Well, the real world is a possible world, but there are other possible worlds that don't exist. But if something is possible in a possible world, then it's possible. Like it's possible that I could have been born with one arm. So there's a possible world where I only have one arm. Now, when something becomes necessary, that means that it is necessarily possible in all possible worlds. So what we do is I say, think of the most maximally powerful being that you could ever think of. The most maximally powerful, all-knowing, all-powerful, all-seeing. Think in your head of the most maximally powerful being. That would be God. That would be what I call God. Think of that in your head, of that maximally powerful being. Now, the next question would be, is that being real? Is that God that you just thought of real? If your answer is no, then I'm going to tell you you didn't think of a powerful enough being, because the maximally powerful being would have to be real. A real maximally powerful being is more powerful than a fake maximally powerful being, correct? Yes. Okay. So the maximally powerful being that you have in your head, the God that you have in your head, has to be real, because if he's not, then he's not the most powerful that he could be. He could be more powerful if he was not fictional. If he was real, he would be more powerful, right? Okay, so you got this real God in your head that you're picturing. Now, if that God exists in any one possible world, is there a possible world where that maximally powerful God exists? You could say, well, yes, it is possible that in a possible world, this real maximally powerful being exists. Well, then my next question would be, if he exists in one possible world, and he's maximally powerful, a more powerful being would exist in all possible worlds. And if a maximally powerful being exists in one possible world, then he would be necessary in that one possible world. And if something is necessary in one possible world, then by nature it has to be necessary in all possible worlds. So this maximally powerful being has to be real, and he has to exist in at least one possible world. And if he's maximally powerful, then he will exist in all possible worlds. And if he's necessary, then he must exist in all possible worlds. Therefore, the conclusion is God is real and he exists in all possible worlds. That's the modal argument for God. Confusing, I know. I told you it was confusing before I started, but that's the concept. That's how the logic flows. Okay? We'll get into the arguments about how somebody could just say, what about a maximally powerful pizza? Well, I could think of a maximally powerful pizza, but you couldn't think of a maximally powerful pizza because it would have to be a real pizza meaning it would have to be edible. And how do we judge what's a maximally powerful pizza? We'll get into all that stuff here shortly. But the one other thing that I wanted to say about, shoot, I lost my train of thought. God is I am. Robbie, our thoughts are cluttered with garbage. Our brains can contain that massive possibility. Yeah. Yeah, right. Okay, so we read a basis for it. Let's watch a little video. Maybe they can explain it better than I can. There was one other thing I was gonna say, but I forgot. I'm sure I'll think of it while we're watching this stuff. Let's watch this video from PBS Digital Studios. Cartoons are fun. They help us learn stuff.
Crash Course Philosophy is brought to you by Squarespace.
About religion. The philosophy of religion is often confused with theology, which makes sense because they both take God and religion as their subjects. But theology starts with assuming that God exists and then figures out what follows, where theology might try to solve philosophical problems that might arise from a belief in God. But one thing that's never on the table in theology is simply not believing in God. Atheism is not an option. That's what separates the philosophical study of religion from the theological. Philosophers take nothing as a given, and that includes religious belief. Everything is on the table, and everything needs an argument. So no area of belief is safe.
Actually, we'll come back to this later, because this video is not. We will look at his section about Anselm's ontological argument, but first, I want the basic video. Where's the basic video? This is the one. Okay.
In the year 1078.
So this video will just give you the basic outline of the I believe the modal ontological argument. Or no, this may be on Anselm's, but this will break down what I just explained to you maybe a little better than I did it.
A monk named Anselm of Canterbury astonished the world by arguing that if it is even possible that God exists, then it follows logically.
Oh, I was going to talk about symmetry breakers. So the reason that this could be, a lot of atheists will look at this as a bad argument, is because of what's called symmetry in arguments. So basically, if I say, if it's possible that God exists, then God necessarily exists. If you can make a converse argument that is a rebuttal by just flipping the argument around, then it's a bad argument. So if I say, if it's possible that God exists, then God exists, an atheist could simply say, if it's possible that God does not exist, then God does not exist. That would be the converse argument, and that would be a symmetrical converse argument, which means it's not a good argument because the argument could just be flipped the other way. So that's called symmetry in the rebuttal, symmetry in the arguments. So what you have to do is you have to come up with these things called symmetry breakers, which are expansions that you add to your argument to make sure that it won't be a symmetrical argument with the converse argument. Does that make sense? If I say, if it's possible that God exists, then God must exist, you could simply argue, if it's possible that God does not exist, then God does not exist. So see how that's a symmetrical rebuttal. It's the same argument and it's just flipped. It's a mirror image of the argument and you flip it. So that means your argument, the rebuttal isn't good, but the argument in the first place isn't good. You have to build onto it, add a little more so that you can't make a symmetrical mirror image of it to rebuttal it. Those are called symmetry breakers, which we'll get into here in a little bit.
That God does exist. Anselm's argument came to be called the ontological argument, and it has sharply divided philosophers ever since. The 19th century German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer called it a charming joke, but many prominent 20th century...
And we're going to watch a video from Cosmic Skeptic, he's an atheist, debunking the ontological argument. So where's Sick Productions for people that say that you think I'm biased or I'm unfair? I am opinionated and I am biased in my worldview, but I try to be pretty fair looking at both sides of the arguments. We're going to look at atheists destroying the ontological argument, quote unquote. So I'm not telling you that this is the best one. We still haven't got to my favorite ones yet. Well, the moral argument, I like that one. That's a pretty good one. But I think we're saving the best for last. I think the fine-tuning argument is best. Next week, we're going to do a historical argument. So I've been saying, I'm trying to stress to you guys, by the end of this, if you put all these together, you have a logical argument, you have a cosmological argument, you have a emotional argument, you have a historical argument, and you have a math and science brained argument. So we will get, next week we'll do the argument from the resurrection of Christ, which is a historical argument for God's existence. And then the week after that, we will go into the fine-tuning argument, which is my favorite argument for God's existence, and it's a math and science-brained argument. So all of these together, you pretty much make an airtight hole. And a smart atheist, if there is such a thing, I always say there's no such thing as a smart atheist, but a consistent atheist who is being intellectually honest with themselves should understand that any one of these arguments is not going to prove God to an atheist, right? But to have a successful argument, you don't have to, if there's a scale from 0 to 100, 0 means you don't believe in God, 100 means you 100% believe in God. Anything over 50 means you believe in God. So let's say an atheist starts at 10% chance that there could be a God. Or let's say they start at 0% chance that there could be a God. If you make an argument to them and it bumps them up to 2% chance, that is a successful argument. Doesn't mean you change their mind. It just means you move them a little, you move the goalpost just a little bit. If an atheist goes from 0% to 2% chance after hearing one of these arguments, that's a successful argument. If you can take all of these arguments, and this one moves them up 5, and this one moves them up 10, and then this one moves them up 4%, and then this one moves him up 15%. He really likes this one. It jumps him up 15%. By the time you stack all of these arguments on top of each other, if you can push them past that 50% mark, then you got a believer in God. You made an atheist into a believer. And of course, that's only the first step. You know, that doesn't bring into like different religions and different denominations and who God is or any of that stuff. But at least it's a first step, you know. So
philosophers such as Charles Hartshorne, Norman Malcolm, and Alvin Plantinga think that it's sound. Here it is. God can be defined as a maximally great being. If something were greater than God, then that being would be God. And in order to be maximally great, a maximally great being would have to be all-powerful, all-knowing, and morally perfect in every possible world.
And real.
Possible worlds
if it's not real,
are simply
then it's not
ways the
maximally
world
powerful.
could have been. To say that something exists in a possible world is just to say that if the world were that way, then the thing would have existed. For example,
right, so it's possible that there could be flying pigs in there's a possible world, if evolution is real, where pigs evolved wings, and now they're not necessarily possible. A necessarily possible thing is a possibility. If something is necessarily possible, that means that it has to be it has to be real in all possible worlds. If it's necessarily, it has to be. It has to be. If it's necessarily possible, that means it has to be real in all possible worlds. And that's what we're saying God is. Whereas a pig with wings is not necessarily possible, but it is possible. It is possible that in some possible world there's a pig with wings, but it's not necessarily possible. So it's not going to be in the real world. We're not going to see it. If something is necessarily possible in any possible world, then it is necessarily possible in all possible worlds, including the real world. So,
even though unicorns don't exist in the actual world, it seems at least possible that they could have.
But he's about to get to something like a square circle. Well, that's illogical. That's a fallacy. That's impossible. And Cosmic Skeptic brings up the freaking The way people will rebuttal this ontological argument is they'll say, can God make a stone that is too heavy for him to lift? Meaning, if God is maximally omnipotent, he's all powerful, he can do anything he wants. Atheists think they're clever, and they'll say, well, can God make a rock that's too heavy for him to pick up? If God has the ability to make a rock that's too heavy for him to pick up, then he doesn't have the ability to pick up the rock. And if he can't make a rock that's too heavy for him to pick up, then he can't make the rock. So they think that they're catching you with that one. Like, oh, see, God's not all powerful because he can't do an impossibly illogical thing. No, dummy. God is logic. God created the laws of logic. Therefore, if you're breaking the laws of logic in your question, then you're just not that smart. Of course, God can't break the laws of logic because God is logic. God created the laws of logic. He has to abide by the laws of logic because it's illogical for a God to not be logical. A maximally great, just because you're maximally great, you're omnipotent, doesn't mean you can break the laws of logic that you created. So, no, God cannot make a rock that's too heavy for him to pick it up because that's stupid and illogical. That breaks the laws of logic.
So we can say that unicorns exist in some possible world. On the other hand, a married bachelor does not exist in any possible world because
it's illogical. It's a contradiction. It breaks the laws of non-contradiction. A married bachelor, which actually I'm gonna pull my married bachelor card on this one because I disagree. I think there are married bachelors in this reality right here in this chair. There are married bachelors. No, but what they're saying is a square circle. It's a contradiction. It breaks the laws of logic. It breaks the law of non-contradiction. Therefore, it's not possible in any possible world.
The idea of a married bachelor is logically incoherent. It could not possibly exist. So if it is possible that a maximally great being...
Yeah, it's an ego. They think they're being clever with that rock question, Bibby. But really, the answer is very simple. That question breaks the laws of logic. God created the laws of logic and follows the laws. Everything follows the laws of logic because God is logic. So, yeah, that's a stupid question. The atheist will commonly ask.
Being exists, then we can say that he exists in some possible world. But wait. A maximally great being would not really be maximally great if it existed in only some possible worlds. To be maximally great, it has to be all-powerful, all-knowing, and morally perfect in every possible world. So think about it. If a maximally great being exists in any possible world, then it exists in every possible world. And if it exists in every possible world, then it exists in the actual world. That is, a maximally great being actually exists. Thus,
and if you think that this is like a string theory thing or a multi-universe type of thing, it's not. It's not actually talking about it's not talking about other versions of the world in multi-universes or anything like that. It's just saying the idea, it's just an idea. This doesn't tie in with string theory when they're talking about possible worlds and stuff.
Atheist has to maintain not simply that God does not exist, but that it is impossible that God exists. Here's a summary of the ontological argument. Steps 2 through 6 are straightforward and largely uncontroversial. But what about point number 1? Clearly, if it can be shown that the idea of a God is logically incoherent, then the argument fails. But is the idea of a maximally great being absurd? No. Like a married bachelor, or a square circle, or the smell of blue?
This smell
doesn't
of blue?
seem to be the case. The notion of an all-powerful...
What that smell like? The edge of a circle is going around there. Every degree of radius, corner, there can't be a multiverse. It would mean that we have more than one soul tied to us, which makes it sense. Yeah, I don't believe in the multiverse stuff either. Unless if we're talking like Men in Black. You know in Men in Black at the end of the movie where they zoom out and we're in a marble and the aliens are just playing with the marbles, so there's a bunch of universes. I could see that God has a bag of universe marbles. Like I could, but it's not it's not like string theory, multiverse theory, where there's other versions of me. There's no gay version of me. That's not a thing. I don't care how many infinite multiverses there is. There's no gay version of me. So, and that's what the multiverse theory says, that there's infinite versions of me and one of them's gay somewhere. No, I don't believe in that. Nope. There's only one me. There's only one us. We only have one soul. But I could see that there could be other universes that God, because God's all powerful, he could make more than one universe, and then he could have different Earths with different humans, and and then Jesus goes to all of them in the different universes. I could see that, but it's not a multiverse thing where there's other versions of us. Would heaven be considered another universe? No, I think heaven would be another plane of existence. The universe is physical. Heaven is like spiritual. So it's like a whole nother plane of, it's like there could be a bunch of universes. I wouldn't put it, I wouldn't say God couldn't have it where there's multiple different universes, right? But not multiple versions of the same universe where there's multiple copies of each individual person. Because like Bibby said, then we would have to, our soul would be divided. Like, what if one of my versions of me, I don't believe in all that stuff, but I think God is on another plane of existence. Like, God's up here, the universe is here, and then Earth and what we experience is like here. So it's like levels, maybe. Each one of me is more badass than the other. We are all here as souls tied together. What? You're the only one who knows who you are. Don't we have souls tied to us the way it should be? Yeah, well, our soul is yeah. More than one Bibby? Hey now. Plural Bibbies. Plural Bibbies. Hey, that's double the pleasure, double the fun. Rome's getting excited. All right. Okay. This is almost over.
All-knowing, morally perfect.
I pretty much already covered what this video covers.
Being that exists in every possible world seems to be a perfectly coherent idea. But couldn't we parody this argument and make it work for anything? Why not say, it's logically possible that a maximally great pizza exists. Therefore, a maximally great pizza does exist? However, the idea of a maximally great pizza is not like the idea of a maximally great being. In the first place, there aren't intrinsic maximal values that make pizzas great. There could always be one more pepperoni to increase its greatness. It's not even obvious what properties make a pizza great. Thin crust or thick crust, extra cheese, anchovies? It's relative to the taste of the consumer. In the second place, a maximally great pizza would have to exist in every logical possible world. But that would mean that it couldn't be eaten. So it wouldn't really be a pizza, because a pizza is something you can eat. The idea of a
I know, you got here just after we were talking about string theory and why I kind of disagree with it, because there ain't no gay version of me. I've been AWOL. Do enjoy Josh's content. Day 3 of Asking Mr. Mad. Silk screen us some know-it-all tees. Yeah, I want a know-it-all tee.
Maximally great pizza turns out not to be a coherent idea. The idea of God, on the other hand, is an intuitively coherent idea. Therefore, his existence is a possibility.
I want a shirt that on the front it says, I'm a know-it-all, and on the back it says, you're an idiot. So when I'm walking towards them, they see the front, and then when I walk past them, they're like, look back. That would be funny. All pizza is good pizza, but is it maximally good pizza? What is the maximally great pizza?
And the ontological argument shows that if God possibly exists, then God actually exists.
And that's it. It's a very simple, very deep argument, though. There's multiple versions of it. What we just covered is the modal ontological argument.
In the 11th century,
there's also Anselm's ontological argument. One of the most fascinating arguments for the existence of all perfect God is the ontological argument. While there are several different versions of the argument, all purport to show that it is self-contradictory to deny that there exists a greatest possible being. Thus, on this general line of argument, it is a necessary truth that such a being exists, and this being is the God of traditional Western theism. This article explains and evaluates classic and contemporary versions of the ontological argument. I can't read all of this right now, guys. But Aquinas had criticisms of it. Gonilio, I don't know who that is. Kant, Immanuel Kant, we talked about him last week. I'm pronouncing his name. I'm really trying to accentuate the A. You're supposed to pronounce it Immanuel Kant. Directs his famous objection at premise 3's claim that a being that exists as an idea in the mind and in reality is greater than a being that exists only as an idea in the mind. So yeah, so see, pretty much Anselm and Kant, they all built on this original ontological argument, which is a very simple, if it's possible that God exists, then God exists. And a lot of these people have added to it, giving it symmetry breakers, like we were talking about earlier, because somebody could say, well, a maximally great God might, I can imagine a maximally great God, but he's not real. Well, then that's not a maximally great being, because a maximally great being is a real being. So you need to think of a more greater being. That's what Kant added to the conversation. This sounds so bad. I would hate if my last name was Kant. Immanuel Kant. It's Kant. He ain't automatic, though. Anselm's second version, as it turns out, there were two different versions of the ontological argument in the prosologium. How do you say that? Prosologium. The second version does not rely on the highly problematic claim that existence is a property, and hence avoids many of the objections to the classic version. Here's the second version of the ontological argument as Anselm states it. God is that than which nothing greater can be conceived, and God assuredly exists so truly that it cannot be conceived not to exist. For it is possible to conceive of a being which cannot be conceived not to exist. What? Philosophy is nuts. It is possible to conceive of a being which cannot be conceived not to exist. And this is the greater than one that can be conceived not to exist. Hence, if that, then, which nothing greater can be conceived not to exist, it is not that, than which nothing greater can be conceived, but this is an inconceivable contradiction. There is, then, so truly a being that which nothing greater can be conceived to exist, that it cannot even be conceived not to exist, and this being thou art, O Lord our God. That totally went over my head. If that went over you guys' head, that's why we're doing this together. We're here together. Let me read that paragraph one more time to you. And then we'll get off of Anselm, because Anselm is confusing me like a mug. God is that than which nothing greater can be conceived, and God surely exists so truly that it cannot be conceived not to exist. For it is possible to conceive of a being which cannot be conceived not to exist, and this is greater than one which can be conceived not to exist. Hence, if that than which nothing greater can be conceived not to exist, it is not that than which nothing greater can be conceived, but this is an irreconcilable contradiction. There is then so truly a being which nothing greater can be conceived to exist, and it cannot be conceived not to exist, and this being thou art, O Lord our God. It's a real complicated way to say that if a maximally great being doesn't exist, then it's not really the maximally great being, because a maximally great being would be real. That's what they're trying to say there. That's what Anselm is telling us there. So the modal version of the argument, we talked about the modal. We talked about Anselm's. Descartes had things to say about this. let's see. I'm not going to read from here. Premise, Anselm, Supreme Green. Okay, so we've covered Anselm's. We've covered the modal. Form 2 is God is a necessary being. God is either a necessary being or a contingent being. There is nothing contradictory about God being a necessary being. So it is possible that God exists as a necessary being. If it is possible that God is a necessary being, then God exists because God is not a contingent being. And if God is necessary, if a necessary being is necessary in one possible world, then it must be necessary to all possible worlds. That's another part of it. Plantinger wrote a lot about this. Alvin Plantinger wrote about this. He built on this. He built the modal. The modal is to say that there is possibly a God, is to say that there is a possible world in which God exists. To say that God necessarily exists is to say that God exists in every possible world. God is necessarily perfect. Since God is necessarily perfect, he is perfect in every possible world. If God is perfect in every possible world, he must exist in every possible world. Therefore, God exists. God is also maximally great. To be maximally great is to be perfect in every possible world. Therefore, it is possible that there is a God means that there is a possible world which contains God, that God is maximally great, and that God exists in every possible world is consequently necessary. God existence is at least possible. Therefore, as per item 7, God exists. Rene Descartes formulated it as, if there is a God, it is a perfect being. A perfect being possesses all possible perfections. Existence is a perfection. Therefore, God necessarily possesses the quality of existence. Simply, God exists. So that's Descartes' ontological argument. That is Anselm's ontological argument, Plantinger's modal ontological argument, and that's pretty much all the different ones. We just read Descartes. This is the simplest one, the simplicity of the argument. His is the most simple. Indeed, it read more like a report on the intuition than formal proof. Descartes underscores the simplicity of this demonstration by comparing it to the way we ordinarily establish very basic truths in arithmetic and geometry, such as the number 2 is even, or that the sum of the angles of triangles is equal to the sum of the two right angles. So intuition, logic, basic stuff. That's Descartes. Anselm, the modal, Plantinger's modal, all the different ontological arguments. And so that's pretty much it. Metaphysics leads to ontology, cosmology. Ontology is questions about existence and being. Cosmology is nature and the origin of the universe. Epistemology is different. Metaphysics is what is real, which leads us to ontology and cosmology, which we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. Epistemology is how do we know? Knowing through experience, reason, authority, intuition, and active construction. And then axiology is what is right, ethics and aesthetics. So we'll be getting into all that stuff, but just some pictures. It's 8 o'clock, but to wrap up the show, I want us to see this 13-minute video from Cosmic Skeptic. This is an atheist debunking the ontological argument. This is an older video of his when he was younger. We're going to play it at 1.25. And just to say, you can't say I'm not fair. I'm going to give you the atheist rebutting the ontological argument. And, this way it helps you prepare. I think it's good. It's important to watch content from people who you don't agree with. It's almost more important to watch people who you don't agree with than to watch people who you agree with because it helps you learn. It helps you learn the arguments. It helps you learn how they think. Like I watch Destiny. I watch this guy. I watch a lot of people who I do not agree with their worldview because I want to understand their position. That you can't You can't defeat your enemy if you don't understand your enemy. You can't, and I don't mean physically in combat, but mental combat. Ideas, whose idea is right? We have to, sitting around agreeing that we don't like the jab, transgenders are bad, blah 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 blah. Sitting around and agreeing and talking about these things we agree on doesn't get us anywhere. What we need to do is we need to pin down what we disagree on, and we need to come to an agreement. Amos 3:10 says, if two are not agreed, how can they walk together? How am I going to go to war when when all the troops are, this is why the military destroys any sort of anonymity or any sort of autonomy. This is why everybody dresses the same in the military. Everybody has the same haircut in the military. Everybody speaks in cadences in the military. We all speak together. We all chant together as a team because we are one in a military. This is the same when ish hits the fan, when the apocalypse comes around. I need to know that we are like-minded if we're going to walk together. If we're going to be on a squad, we're going to make a tribe. The tribe needs to think together. We need to have the same ideas. We can't be arguing over little things, political and religious stuff. We need to be of one mind, sound mind, like-minded. So, I think it's better to find where we disagree and really come to a conclusion, and the better ideas and the better arguments are going to prevail. So you have to know your enemy. You have to know their arguments so that you can counter them. So let's watch this, and then that will end the stream.
Anselm of Canterbury attempted to propose a deductive, logical argument for the existence of God using rationality alone. God is the greatest maximal being, Anselm argued. Therefore, he exists.
I'm mansplaining.
This came to be known as the ontological argument, and here's a video from William Lane Craig's YouTube channel attempting to explain it.
Here it is.
Negotiate.
God can be defined as a maximally great being. If something were greater than God, then
we just watched this. He's
commentating
on it.
And in order to be maximally great, a maximally great being would have to be all-powerful.
Into is that these properties are contradictory and paradoxical. Okay, firstly, we have omnipotence. Nothing can truly be all-powerful. This is a common philosophical thought, and you've probably heard it best exemplified in the famous dilemma. Could God create a rock so heavy that he couldn't lift it? Now this...
So see, he's saying God is not... I told you, he's going to go to this. To say that atheists will say there's no such thing as an all-powerful God. Why? Well, because he's not powerful enough to break the laws of logic. Yeah, because that would be illogical. He created the laws of logic, and everything must follow the laws of logic. Therefore, to ask an illogical question doesn't make God not all-powerful. It just makes you dumb to think that that's a good argument. I don't think that's a good argument. God's not all-powerful because he can't create a rock that's too heavy for him to pick up. That's illogical. The better question would be, can God break his own laws of logic? I would say no, because it's not that God just like made up the laws of logic. It's that he is logic. He represents the laws of logic. It's not like, yeah, some guy wrote down these laws of logic, but really what the laws of logic are reality. Yeah, God could break reality, but then everything would just evaporate. Like, God probably could make a rock too big that he could not lift or whatever. God probably could do that somehow, but when he does it, the whole universe is going to explode. Every molecule in the universe is going to go, you just evaporate, right? Like, if he wanted to, he could just snap his finger and there are no more rocks, and then you're not asking this stupid question anymore, you atheist.
This dilemma is usually brought up when discussing the nature of God's omnipotence on the presumption that he actually exists. And the best solution to this problem to most people would seem to be that maybe God is a maximally powerful being, but not all-powerful. And if you're not familiar with the dilemma, the two possible answers are either A, that God can create the rock so heavy that he can't lift it, but if he can't lift it, he's not omnipotent. And B, that he can't make the rock, which means he's also...
So this is crossexamine.org's answer to this. Not just logically impossible things. He can't commit sin. He cannot do evil acts. I think God can't commit sin because if God's doing it, it wouldn't be a sin, right? Like God could wipe out everybody and it's not sin from God's from God's perspective. He cannot do evil acts because God is sinless and holy. And so to do those things would be to contradict his own morally perfect nature. Right, but it's not that he can't do evil acts. God can do things that from our human perception of it, it seems evil. A lot of people will say, well, God killed a bunch of babies, or God approved of slavery, or God did this, and that's evil. Well, no. The simple answer is when God does it, it's not evil. Because God decides what's good and evil. And if God does it, then it's good. God is good. Which is confusing to us with our little pea brain, human 3-pound meat brains that can't even possibly fathom this stuff. It doesn't make sense to us that God is goodness, and that if a baby dies, if God decides a baby needs to die and that baby dies, that's not evil. That's still good. And it sounds crazy to us, and it's tough for people to wrap their minds around, and it's hard for some people. So that's why some people will never become Christian, because the problem of evil. They think if God is so good and holy, well, why doesn't he just get rid of all the evil? And then that's where a lot of Christians, most Christians, when they're asked that question, they're going to start bringing up free will. They're going to say, well, God gives us the free will to choose which side we follow. I don't think that's the good argument for that question. I think a better argument is the way that God answers the question. When Job asks him this, he says basically, it's above your pay grade. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You don't understand. You're not supposed to understand. Quit asking these stupid questions. That's the way God would answer the question. When Job asked God why evil things happen, God didn't say, well, because I gave you free will to choose which path you want to take. No, that's not what God said. God said, I'm in charge. Listen to me and don't worry about it. I tied the whole universe together. You're asking me questions, things you can't even possibly fathom. So stop asking and serve me. I command you to serve me. That's what God said. He didn't say nothing about no free will to Job when Job asked him that.
Not omnipotent. And the same thing goes for omniscience, being all-knowing. That is, if you couple it with omnipotence. Because we come across another thing that God cannot do. If God is truly omniscient, then that means that he can see the future. He knows every single intervention he will ever make, and he knows of every single choice that he will ever make in advance. But it then logically follows that God cannot change his mind. If God was able to change his mind, then that means that he can't have been able to foresee whatever the factor was that...
This one I've heard a lot too, because there are parts of the Bible where it basically says God changed his mind about something. And this one screws with the atheists because they say, well, if God is all-knowing, how could he change his mind about something? If he already knew his mind would be changed, why would his mind change about something? My response to this is that, and I know a lot of Christians will not like this when I say this, I do not believe that the Bible, that book that I got sitting over there, I don't believe that is the infallible word of God, which a lot of Christians will call me a heretic for saying this. I believe men wrote the Bible, men who were inspired by God, and they wrote the Bible, and that over time, translations and people messing with the manuscripts, these things can be corrupted over time. I believe that. Some Christians will say I'm a heretic for saying that. And I don't care. They could kiss my rear end. I don't care what they think. Because it's obvious. Because we have multiple versions of the Bible that say different things. So it's very clear, it's very obvious that the Bible is simply man's interpretations of things that we've wrestled with and struggled to wrap our minds around for all of time. So if a man puts down in the Bible that God changed his mind about something, you don't know God's mind. The guy who wrote that doesn't know God's mind. And the Christian will tell you God wrote that. God wrote that. God put his hand. So God wrote that God changed his mind. But God is all-knowing. If you believe that, then the atheists win. You have to be more reasonable. You have to come down to the idea that maybe this person just didn't understand God's mind. Maybe this guy that wrote this book actually didn't understand God's mind, and that God never changed his mind. He was just trying to express something that we can't even fathom in human words. So he said God changed his mind, and he wrote that down. Like, I don't even know if God has a mind like that. Like, God doesn't change his mind. So the guy who wrote that, I think he was wrong. I don't think God was wrong. I don't think this disproves God. I think the person who wrote that was using his own words and interpreting it in his own way, and he wrote that down. And Jesus is the word of God. The Bible is not the word of God. The Bible is very clear that you cannot live by the scriptures. You cannot live by the letter of the law. You have to live by the Spirit. Jesus is the word of God. It does say keep the scriptures holy and don't add or remove words to them. If you do, you'll be cursed and all that stuff. But the Bible wouldn't put that warning in there that people are going to change the Bible in the future if people weren't going to change the Bible in the future. The Bible knew that was going to, or the people back then knew that that was going to happen to these texts and to these manuscripts, that they were going to be changed and altered. And they warned us about it. So you have to be cautious and you have to know that. But anyway,
that caused him to change his mind, because if he could have foreseen it, then he wouldn't have been changing his mind at all. But if he couldn't foresee the factors that would cause him to change his mind, then he's not omniscient. As for imagining a morally perfect being, this is contingent upon already having some pre-existing idea of objective morality before we've gotten to the stage of proving God. Now don't get me wrong here, if God did exist, then there would be an objective moral standard. But you can't say, imagine an objectively perfect morality in order to prove God, if you need that God in order to prove the existence of the objective morality. You can't appeal to the objective morality.
Right. And he's consistent. If you don't believe in objective morality, then if you don't believe in God, then you cannot justify objective morality without a God. So he is consistent. He doesn't believe in objective morality.
Morality of God as a stepping stone to proving that God. These factors are contradictory or wrong. There cannot exist a being that is fully omnipotent and fully omniscient. It just leads to too many paradoxes. Now, incidentally, I'm actually using the exact same logic that William Lane Craig himself uses a lot of the time when he's talking about infinity. You may have seen him do this when talking about the Kalam cosmological argument, the idea of an infinite regress. There can't be an infinitely existing universe.
But I don't even think the writers of the Bible could even comprehend the mind of God, right? They just were writing it from there. So like God changed his mind. That's like a human concept, you know? And we're trying to use human words to explain why God did things. It's tough. It's a tough concept, but and also this is a really old video from Cosmic Skeptic. His newer videos, this is when he had like 100,000 subscribers. I think he's only got like 200,000 now. But anyway, this is one of his older videos. He's done more videos about this topic where he's talking to people, and now in his more recent videos, he's like, I kind of brushed some of these arguments aside at first, but they've been growing on me. And after talking to a lot of Christian philosophers and stuff, he'll admit that he's starting to see the validity in some of these arguments. And he's done some videos where he goes back and corrects his mistakes from his old videos. So he's pretty pretty reasonable. We got to go quick. We got to get through this.
It must have had a beginning. And the reason that he gives for this is because if you think of infinity as a calculable number, it leads to paradoxes. For instance, you can't take...
It's not now Josh gets what I've been saying, Freddie. I've been saying the same thing and knowing the same thing since way before I ever met you, buddy. I don't think you really know much about the Bible, though.
Infinity and add infinity. You still get infinity, and this is just mathematically impossible and leads to a whole number of contradictions.
If the universe never began to exist, then the number of past events is infinite. But, Al-Ghazali argued, this is impossible because an actually infinite...
As long as these things are not logically incoherent. An omnipotent, omniscient God is logically incoherent in the same way that you can dismiss...
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
a married bachelor in any possible universes, I can also dismiss the God that you're presenting.
So if it is possible that a maximally great being exists, then we can say that he exists in some possible world. But wait, a maximally great to be perfect in any great being.
We just watched this.
Here
He's just
is you're
reacting to the video
assuming
we
that
just watched.
existence is a perfection. But this is a subjective analysis. We might subjectively agree that existence is better than non-existence, but we can't prove that existence adds intrinsic objective value to a concept. This is what Immanuel Kant said in his Critique of Pure Reason, that existence is not a predicate.
Thus, the
People with
atheist
accents
has
do
to
sound
maintain.
smart. I know. If I just talk with a British accent, all of a sudden my IQ jumps up by 53 points.
Not simply that God does not exist, but that it is impossible that God exists.
No, just the God that you're presenting. You can conceive of a maximally but not all-powerful God. You can conceive of a God which is not omniscient.
No, because if he's not all powerful, then you could conceive of a more maximally greater being then.
Which doesn't know fully what's going on. In fact, this could account for the problem of evil. But the God that you're presenting is logically incoherent, and so yes, we can say that it's impossible to even imagine such a being.
Here's a summary of the ontological argument. Steps 2 through 6 are straightforward and largely uncontroversial.
Which is exactly why I'm going to try to rebut them. Look at premises 2. A maximally great being exists in some possible world. But by the logic that you've just presented, this simply can't be the case. You just said so yourself that for a maximally great being to be truly maximally great, it must exist in...
Now see, I think he made another video later, once he went back and looked at this, asked for understanding, what's the name I just said? Not Anselm, not Descartes, what's the other guy? The P. His name started with a P. Plantinga. Once he went back and looked at Plantinger's structuring of the argument, Plantinga added in, if something is necessary in one possible world, then it must be necessary in all possible worlds. And I believe Cosmic Skeptic agreed with that, and that kind of helped budge him towards going along with this. He's like, he doesn't like the wording of the modal or of the original ontological argument, but he liked some of the sequence breakers that Plantinga and Anselm later added to it. The sequence breakers is what makes the argument stronger, because without the sequence breakers, like necessary, adding a couple words to the premise makes it so you can't just flip it and have a symmetrical opposite argument. And once he looked into the symmetry breakers, he understood it more. By the way, this guy has a doctorate in philosophy. So he went to college for 10 years for philosophy. So just understand, I'm not on this guy's level with this stuff. And I know that. So I would never try to go to a debate with Alex O'Connor. I would get demolished. I don't know enough about this stuff. He studied this stuff for 10 years, which is kind of overkill if you ask me. I'll study it for 10 weeks. Then I'm going to move on. Maximum amount of gay.
All possible worlds. So if it only exists in some possible worlds, then it's not maximally great. So whatever this being is that exists in some possible world, it's by your own definition not maximally great. So how could you possibly say that a maximally great being can exist in some possible worlds if to be maximally great, it must exist in all possible worlds? This is, once again, say it with me kids, logically incoherent. Now this video goes on to present a possible response to the ontological argument, and it may be a response that you're thinking of right now, but it's not a very...
That's okay. I think it's logically incoherent to ask a logically incoherent question of a logical creator. I think that's logically incoherent.
Good one. If you want to see the way that they put it, it's in the description down below, but I'll try to summarize it here. At the time that Anselm was writing in the 11th century, he had a contemporary called Gunillo, or Guanillo, or however you want to pronounce it. Now, Gunillo was a believer, but he didn't agree with the ontological argument. It didn't sit right with him, and his response to the argument was as follows. He said, well look, I can imagine the most perfect possible island, but that doesn't mean that that island exists. And this may be a sort of gut reaction response. You're saying, well, just because you can imagine the most perfect God doesn't mean that that most perfect God...
No, because if I asked you, imagine the most perfect island, and you thought of a perfect island, and then I asked you, does that island exist? And you said no, I would say imagine a better island, because that's not, I told you to imagine the best, most perfect island. And then you imagined an imaginary island? Why don't you imagine a real island? A real island is way better than an imaginary island. So obviously you're not imagining the most perfect island. If you're imagining an imaginary island, you need to imagine a real island, because it's going to be better than the fake island.
Actually exists. But the ontological argument, it's worth remembering, isn't trying to prove the most perfect, the maximally great God. It's trying to prove the maximally great being. Okay, there's no more perfect island than the most perfect island, by definition. There's no more perfect pizza than the most perfect pizza. But there is a more perfect thing than both of these. And that most perfect thing, the most perfect thing of all, according to Anselm's logic, is God. And so...
No, there is no most perfect pizza. Because, yeah, that's dumb. What they just explained, the most perfect pizza, what do you mean, the most perfect pizza? To who?
So you shouldn't use this argument, even though it instinctively seems
Pineapple?
to fit. But fear not, because the fallacy with this argument doesn't lie in the relation between the premises and the conclusion, but in the premises themselves. So let's lay out this argument in some no-nonsense premises. Premise 1, God has all perfections. Premise 2, necessary existence, that is, existing, is a perfection. Premise 3, if God has necessary existence, then God exists. Therefore, God exists. Now, we've already discussed that premise 1 and premise 2 are probably faulty, but let's pretend that they're not. What we're saying here is God has all perfections, necessary existence...
Okay, guys, we don't have time to watch this whole thing, but we saw some rebuttals, we saw some arguments. I feel like I responded to them somewhat decently, considering this is a guy who's, you know, paid $100,000 a year to go to college for 10 years to learn about this stuff. And I watched some videos on the internet for a couple weeks. So, you know. Now, but here's the thing. This is what I always say. Nobody's better than me. You ain't better than me at nothing. You ain't better than me. You just been doing it longer. You just been doing it longer. If I've studied philosophy for 10 years and went to college for it, I would body this dude in a debate. I would eat his lunch. Straight up. Nice of you to dress up. By the way, Jess, I always dress up on Monday. What are you talking about? You gave him a listen that's honorable but painful. Oh, no, I listen to that guy a lot. I listen to this guy a lot. I listen to like 4-hour debates while I'm at work. Most people listen to music and they're walking around like jamming, getting their energy up. I'm listening to like ontological argument for God debate, 4-hour debate between Hitchens and Dawkins and William Lane Craig and stuff. That's what I'm listening to at work. He doesn't have the discipline to dread. Yeah, he need to start dreading the conservative. What's up, Steve? Steve, you got here at the last minute. I'm ending the show. I got an hour and a half. I gotta walk the dog, eat dinner, get to work. We gotta go to work, boy. Dang. Wait till I get my money right. Plot twist, that dude's lunch is baked beans with eggs and a crumpet. That is a British ass meal. Dang, that's a British ass meal right there. No, he's gonna eat my. Did I say I would eat his lunch? No, he's not gonna eat my lunch. I'm gonna eat my lunch, and I'm gonna eat his crumpets. And a spot of tea, and a crumpet, and baked beans and crumpet, and a spot of tea while we watch the telly. Bro eats beans for breakfast. If I have to listen to anyone about philosophy, Josh is the only one I could stand to listen to. Yeah, it's super confusing and super boring. Honestly, a lot of times I don't even understand what the heck they're saying, but trying to figure it out. Bring on that beautiful bean footage. Nothing like listening to Sabaton while going for a walk. What is Sabaton? Sabaton. All right, guys, it's 8:30. I got to go to work in an hour and a half. I will try to do a stream Wednesday night, the night before we leave for the trip. So Wednesday night, we will aim for that, and then we will be in California on Thursday. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. Hit the Cash App up. I need money for the trip. Dreaded Conservative on Cash App. $sign Dreaded Conservative. I need money for the trip. Make sure you're subscribed. Share the videos out to your Facebook groups and your friends and chats and whatever you can find on the internet. Yeah. That's the new plan, Mr. Matt. It's going to be 5. It's supposed to be 5 to 8. How much do I need? I don't know, like a couple thou. No, I don't know. I don't know. Just just need a little cash for the trip. Make it comfortable, you know? But El Gordo y la Flaca y la Doctora Polo. Thursday, that's soon as F. I didn't even know you were going. Yeah. I've been talking about it for like 2 months. But yes, we're leaving Thursday on a jet plane. Spirit Airlines, Delta Airlines, the two worst airlines. I'm taking a big risk. 15 large should cover it. Yeah, $300,000. $350. I need $350. Let me get $350. So we'll try to stream Wednesday, and then I gotta pack up the computer after Wednesday night to leave Thursday. And yeah, with the new schedule, the Dreaded Conservative show, Mr. Matt, is just gonna be 5 to 8. We went to 8:30, so we're actually 30 minutes over. 5 to 8 Monday nights. Started an hour earlier, and it's a shorter show. I was under a sink and super glued my hand to a garbage disposal, stuck for 2 hours till the fire department got there. Just kidding. There are worse things that you could get stuck to other things. You sent me 50 for a during what the dang, I gotta do 100 push-ups on Wednesday night. Let's go. Hey, thank you, Mr. Matt. That's what's up. I will Mr. Matt better go live. Yeah, thank you, man. $50. That's what I was saying earlier. I said if somebody sends me money, I'll buy me and Freddie and Zeke a meal at McDonald's. And I was like, a California meal at McDonald's for 3 people is probably gonna be like $50 or $60. Dang, Happy Meal is gonna be like $20. Dang old Big Mac gonna cost me like 50 push-ups. Fine. All right, I'll do them on Wednesday. I can't do them right now because I gotta get ready for work. I gotta walk the dog and eat and go to work. So I gotta end the show. Thank you guys. Fun stuff coming soon, so stick around. I'll see you guys later. Matthew sent me $350. Buy some Harold's chicken and waffles. Real plumbers don't use super glue. Buy some Harold's chicken and waffles, bro. Hey, that sounds good. I'll try it if I see it. All right, guys, I gotta go. I gotta run. I got things I gotta do. So God bless everybody. Have a good night. Next week we're still gonna be on the philosophy, the arguments for God. But next week's gonna be a fun one. Because next week we're gonna do a historical argument for God, which is the argument from the resurrection of Christ. Which is basically we're gonna go through all of the historical evidence that Jesus resurrected. And if they never found a body, and there's evidence from multiple different people who were not Christians, and there's multiple things in the Bible that actually like hurt Christianity, but they still put it in the Bible, like the fact that women found Jesus. They didn't want to put that they don't want to have that in there because it was a shameful thing that women, but they still put it in there, and it's still part of the story. So there's all sorts of stuff that proves that Jesus was resurrected. Eyewitness testimonies, multiple historical accounts from people who did not support Christianity. They were against Christianity, and we'll talk about all that next week. The argument for from the resurrection of Christ for God's existence, a historical argument for God's existence. and that should be fun, and that should be less boring than this ontological and cosmological stuff. So, anyway, we'll talk about that next week. I'll see you guys later. God bless. Have a good night. Peace.